Hello, comics and pop culture people. It's your friend Ryan, aka Bigby McFly, and feel like going live. I haven't been live in a long time, so other than usually hang out with Chris, Bronze Age Nerd, on Mondays, doing our news show, with Best Coast Comics. But if you guys haven't checked that out, please do so. But yeah, got to go do some running around today and finagle some trading and picked up some books, and so I thought I would hop on and see if anybody else wanted to hop on with me. Hey, there's Christina. How you doing, Christina? And yeah, so just jumping on. So hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. I actually had an ulterior motive tonight when I was going out hunting books. My son is a big fan of the Beagle Boys from Disney, and it's his birthday tomorrow. And so I was going to go get a birthday card, and I was like, you know what? I know a place that has like Gold and Silver Age books, and they might have some Beagle Boys issues. And actually, I was able to find two, so that was cool. I am doing pretty good, Christina. Thanks. So yeah, we have some other people who said they might join in. Yeah, it's his 16th birthday. His big gift was he got to go see Metallica up in Seattle for his first concert ever. So I think he's kind of spoiled for concerts now. But yeah, so checking my messages here. We've got people are messaging me back saying that they are going to make it or they're not going to make it. Man, I would, but okay. But people who can make it will make it, and who can't won't. But yeah. So and then I also have the stuff that I picked up from the Rose City Comic Con and hanging out with all my friends who showed up there, and so I can show some of that too. I know Travis said, "Hey, Agu, how you doing, buddy?" And anybody who's in the chat who wants to pop in and join, so let me know. I'll send you an invite on Instagram, or message me on Instagram if you'd like an invite, and we can get you in here. But yeah, so I guess so you guys have heard of the legendary Golden Age honey hole place I did a bunch of videos about. It's a private residence that has an antique store in it, and the fella allows certain people to come and look and shop. And so yeah, got a hold of him and went up there, took a look around. I actually had gotten some old cigarette cartons or packages that were from like the 1920s through the 1940s that people had flattened and kept nicely, and they were in a collection that I picked up of some card stuff. And so I took him over to see if he was interested in doing some trading for, hey Tina, doing some trading for some comics. It had been probably 6 months since I'd been over there to take a look at what books he had, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I lost your phone number. I have a bunch of stuff for you to look at." And a while ago, I showed up and he had a grocery bag of what he calls everything modern junk, and anything that's modern to him is anything that's 12 cents and over is modern. And so he had a grocery bag of junk for me to look at a while ago when I showed up, and it had a Amazing Spider-Man 316. If you're not familiar with that, it's the one with the McFarlane cover with Venom over Spider-Man. It had a whole bunch of McFarlane. It flirted with having a 300 in there, but it didn't have a 300. But it had a bunch of really good books in there. And he handed me the bag before I even got to look at it. He said, $30, take the whole bag. And there was just a ton of books. So he said he got another box of junk, and he wanted me to take a look at that. And so I said, well, I have these things I was looking to trade. And so he said, oh yeah, well, we can work that in with the box of junk. He said, I'm into the box for $15 or something for the whole box. So I was like, great. But anyway, let's take a look at some of the stuff I got. So he has a giant chest of drawers that is in kind of it's not the best lit area of the premises, but it's full of silver and golden age books, if you can imagine that. None of, like, most of them not bagged and boarded. Most of them are just in this chest of drawers. And so he's like, I said I was looking for some books for my son for his birthday, and he says, well, I've got this fella is a character. I don't know if I've told you guys this, or if everybody's heard the story, but this guy's in his 70s. He plays bass in a rock band, and he had to go play some music tonight at a local club. And so I was like, oh man, I hope I don't hurt your setup time. He said, oh, we've got roadies for that. I just have to go up there and play my bass and shake my booty. But he says, but you got to go quick. So I was digging through this thing trying to find books, and so some of the stuff looked really high grade, and then when I got it out in the light, I was like, oh, well, it wasn't as high grade as I thought. But he made me a great deal on the stuff. So like this one isn't a very great condition, but when I initially saw it, it looked like it was in pretty good shape. But I'm looking at it here in some good light, and I can see quite a bit of damage to it. But I do love the character, Little Hot Stuff. So we got a Little Hot Stuff. Colors are good. It's good color. I don't know if this is an innuendo. Smoke El Ropo. When I was in high school, we called smoking the rope was something else. But anyway, so Hot Stuff. This one is in really high grade, and pretty cool. I like these. I don't know if you guys saw a little while ago, I was talking with Bronze about our comics origins, and so Andy Panda and Woody Woodpecker were two characters that I got to see a lot when I was a little kid, and so this was kind of cool. We had a Walter Lance New Funny. It's a really high grade copy of this with Andy Panda and Woody Woodpecker, and yeah. So there's that. And then I told you guys I was looking for some Beagle Boys books for my son for his birthday. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate Agu and Tina and Christina, you guys being here and checking out. So I was actually able to find a couple of Beagle Boys. This one's a little lower grade, but all he wants to do is read it anyway, so it's not gonna. That's okay. But 12-cent Walt Disney Beagle Boys. Now they're painting the tree outside, but they put the bars in the painting. So Beagle Boys. And then another one. This one's a little better shape. I should put a bag. This one doesn't even have a bagging board on it, but the Beagle Boys and the Beagle Brats, 12 center. And I think I ended up paying about $3 a copy on all of these, and you'll see some other ones that are pretty amazing later on that I was like, whoa. You can't find silver and golden age books for $3 in decent grade even. I mean, hey, there's a person that I know backstage. He looks tired. Hey, it's my sick friend Travis, who's feeling.
Yep. I feel sick. Do I look sick?
Dude, you're sick. Not in a good way though. Hey, K-pop junkie, how you doing? So yeah, so another Beagle Boys book for Orion, my son. So
nice.
Yeah. I got almost. Did you see the other ones, Trav? Were you around long enough to see the other ones?
No, I wasn't.
Beagle Boys. So Orion's a big Beagle Boys fan. So Beagle Boys, a really nice high grade Walter Lance New Funnies with Andy Panda and Woody Woodpecker. I thought this was in better shape, but it's Little Hot Stuff. I like Little Hot Stuff, so those. And so I'm saying in our comic, in Bronze and I did our comic origins video, and like a lot of some of the characters that I grew up seeing a lot of from the books my parents would buy for me at the flea markets and stuff were Woody Woodpecker and Andy Panda. For some reason, I saw a lot of that. So there's another high grade. I guess I'm gonna make myself the big
Yeah, make yourself big. I could just be really small. I'm okay.
Let's see here. Let's see. No. I just click on me. It's just not working. Why is that not working? No. Let's see. There we go. Hey, it's me. All right. So yeah, nice high grade copy
Ooh,
of
cool.
Walter Lance New Funnies.
Woody Woodpecker.
Woody Woodpecker, Andy Panda, and I forget the rabbit's name. Oswald Rabbit, maybe?
Oswald
Yeah.
Bunny.
Yeah. So there's, yeah, because he's on this other one, Oswald, over here on the side. Oswald. So Oswald. And yeah, just cool books. I love gold. I mean, and where else are you going to find Golden Age books for $3 a piece? So another Woody Woodpecker and Andy Panda
Nice.
with the chicken. What's the chicken's name? Charlie Chicken. There we go. And a nice grade copy of this guy. Richard, how you doing? Richard, you got an invite if you want to come in. If you don't, it's cool too. But you guys, I know you have some stuff. If you wanted to share some stuff. So another little hot stuff versus the sun. And then the last two of the Golden Age pickups. He's like, oh, and I got some other books you should take a look at. And I was like, oh yeah. And he brought them. He's like, I haven't even had a chance to price them yet. And so I got this one here. A Date with Judy. Check out that bathing suit, huh?
Wow.
And then go checks, huh? But yeah, she says, Burr, the water's so cold it's sending shivers up my spine. And he says, but Judy, we haven't even gotten in yet. And then this one's a pretty nice grade. It's got some tanning to it, but pretty nice grade copy. It's an Atlas book, War number 44.
Nice.
Early code book. So yeah, a little tanning to it, but other than that, it's pretty cool. And then were you here for the beginning part, Trav, where the guy he anything that's more than 10 cents, he calls those, those modern junk books, right? So
Right.
So he's like, I got a box. This is the guy that I got the bag from before for $30. It had they had all the McFarlane stuff and everything in it. And he's like, I got another box. He's like, I'm into it for $15, and you can basically have it for what I'm into it for. So, it's rather large. It's this big.
Wow. Have you even gone through it all yet?
I have flipped through it. So we will flip through it. I don't even know if there's more than there's comics on the front and back of a lot of the bags, but we will see. So we got I don't know what issue numbers we've got, but we got the Black Hole. The bags are not great, but the comics, that one has a nice crease down the middle of it. But the Black Hole, and I think this is number 1, maybe. Another Black Hole.
Hey, don't worry if I drop because I start coughing. I probably won't come back.
Oh, you just mute your mic, man. You're all good.
Yeah.
So we got a Captain America number 155, 20-cent cover price. And a Captain America 258 with a Mike Zeck cover there.
Nice.
Oh, here we go. We got some 80s toy stuff. Sectars number 1 and number 2. We got Marvel Saga number 1. And Marvel Saga number 2. We've got Nightcrawler number 3.
Oh, don't let me forget. Because of the drawing I did for Lunch Money Comics, Ruby's best friend is absolutely in love with Nightcrawler.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So if you happen to have a run of that, I might want to.
I have
pick
one.
that up for
I think I have 1, 2, and 3. Maybe we'll see. Oh, hey, there's more people here. There's a comic collector geek,
Hey, Alan.
and there's
Hey, how's it
Richard
going?
the Superfan.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Alan.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Travis.
Bunch of people. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what you guys doing?
I'm just
So
walking.
we got
I'm
a
walking
whole
in my house.
231. So I don't know if
You
you guys
need to
heard
make yourself big again, though.
the spiel. This guy had this is the Golden Age Honey Hole guy. He has what he calls anything that's more than 10 cents. He calls them those modern junk books. He said he had a box of modern junk books for me to look at, and he said he's into them for $15, and I can have them for what he was into them for. So,
That's cool.
so I got these. I'll run through the Golden Age stuff again when after I get done with these. But we're kind of going through the box, and if anybody else has stuff they want to show, I don't have to keep showing this forever. We can interrupt and show other people's stuff, and then go back to this or whatever. So. But I will make myself big for now. Or is there a do on the side layout? Let's try that. Hey, there we go. That works. All right. So Charles Vest's cover of Web of Spider-Man.
Nice.
Okay.
Black suit cover. Amazing Spider-Man. Oops, it's 2 books. 266 black suit action.
Nice.
I think that issue, the guy has like the Midas touch. Anything he touches turns to gold. He turns he touches a skyscraper, but it's not structurally. Gold is not strong.
Yeah, it's very soft metal.
Yeah. So we got a FF 286. This is the return of Jean Grey. She was in the cocoon under the water.
I didn't know that was a crossover. I thought that one happened in the Avengers episode, or Avengers comic, where they went down to the bottom of the ocean and found the Phoenix.
They find the cocoon and it's emitting energy. It like knocks a plane out of the sky, and then Alan left and is back. Okay, what happened?
It kept on saying like go onto the app.
Okay, well, I'm going to remove that one from the stage. There we go. Okay, are you
Alan
there?
kicked himself off.
I guess. Alan, you're muted, though. Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you now. I took the other one off the stage, and that has your mic, but this one has your photo. You might have to jump out and jump back in. I don't know. All right. Yeah, so the Avengers issue, they find the cocoon, they don't know what's inside. They take it to the Fantastic Four, and at the very end of the Fantastic Four issue, Sue puts her hands on it and makes the cocoon invisible, and everybody's eyes get big and they go, "Oh my God." And then this issue, it's Jean Grey inside. So Johnny Thunder. All right. Whoops, where'd he go? I saw Alan and then he disappeared. All right. Johnny Thunder. I have no idea. It's a 80s DC book. I think she's a member of the JSA though, right? She's got super speed, if I remember correctly. The cool thing is I saw there's a whole bunch of Bronze Age horror in here, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So DC Ghosts number 45. So the executioner being attacked by a woman with a ghost woman with no head. Oh, we're going back to more of that 80s toys. Sectors. Oh, there's Alan. He's back.
Did that work?
Yep, I
good,
can
Alan.
hear you now.
Okay, cool. That's weird.
So we got Sectars 1 and 2. Now we got Sectars 5. I don't know if you guys remember those toys, the insect people. But
Mhm.
all right, some GI Joe. GI Joe number 40. Mike
So how many
Sectar.
books did you get for $15, basically?
This whole vodka box full.
Wow, very professional.
What's that? Yes.
I
I
guess
think
it's
I
better than
need
shoe
issue
boxes.
40.
You think you need issue 40?
I can
was that?
check, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Trav? Okay. I will set it aside for you.
How much of the run did you get for GI Joe?
Oh, I think there's just like a few issues in here. It's just random stuff like Alpha Flight 39, Mike Mignola cover. Some spectacular Spider-Man with the Sin Eater and oh, he's fighting Daredevil. Okay. I didn't recognize Daredevil. It's just his butt.
Wow.
Looks like a crotch shot. Is that where you hit him?
I look like, yeah, he is kind of crotch shotting him. Ah! It's like that Hulk cover where he's punching the Hulk in the crotch.
Wow.
I think artists just like to do that during that era.
Right. Tina says she remembers Sectars. All right. Marvel Age Annual number 1. I think this is the one. I'm gonna have to look in here because there was a Marvel Age that I would always buy, and I would chop it up because it had all the logos for the books in it, and I would put the logos on my comic tabs. I'm gonna see if this is that book. I think this is the one. Yeah. So it would tell you like what's coming out for every book. And so I would chop it up, chop those logos up, and put them on the tags for my box.
I mean, that was pre-internet, so it's not like you could go online and copy those
Just
images
print
and then print them and stuff. So that was the only place to get them from.
I'm gonna have to look through here. It's got a whole bunch of preview art. I wonder if it's like first appearances of things that happened that year. But yeah, it's not in the greatest condition. But Marvel Age
what year
Annual
is it
Award.
from?
1980. Oh gosh, I can't tell you.
Well, while you're looking, I just wanted to say I never had a chance to congratulate Alan on his CBC awards.
Award.
Well, I
Nominated
didn't
for,
win any awards yet. People have to vote for
nominated
me.
for
Your
three.
nomination. It's
Yep.
congratulating you on your nomination.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah. So
Well,
everyone
that's
has
a
to go
wraparound
vote for
cover
me.
too, huh?
Yeah, it's a
You think of
wraparound
the-
cover. I think this is Arthur Adams actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I remember that being in Arthur Adams.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, look at that Captain America on the back, the running Captain America. That is definitely Arthur Adams.
And the Nightcrawler is really cool too.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a cool cover. And another GI Joe yearbook number 1.
Ooh, that's such a great Michael Golden cover.
Yeah, I love the back of this. This is amazing Michael Golden art.
Yeah,
The
that's
back cover's
freaking
better
awesome.
than the front.
What's that?
The back cover's better than the front.
Oh, the back cover is amazing. Yeah. Yeah. It's got all the bad guys. Well, this one needs a little bit flattening out, but we got cool House of Secrets.
Oh, that's nice.
You got a skeleton referee. No escape from the House of Secrets. And Marvel 2-in-1 thing, and She-Hulk. Because Diablo for some reason wants to take over a nuclear reactor. All right, sure. And Superpowers, DC Superpowers number 5. That's Kirby, right? That's Kirby.
Could be.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Kirby. Definitely looks like Kirby. And we'll cross over some romance and some horror Haunted Love: Tales of Gothic Romance.
Oh, that might be a good one.
Yeah, the cover's cool. It's like a painted cover.
And
Oh,
she has
yeah.
like an axe going on there.
Yeah, she got a bloody axe in her hands. Yeah, cool
That's
looking
a
cover.
weird one.
Carlton.
A couple more House of Secrets here. The Price for Life is Blood, the Rain Dance. Okay. A giant bat creature carrying some people off.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I like that just really stark red cover, too. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
very
then-
bold.
Death Takes a Roman Holiday. I get the skeleton hand with the thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down, lions.
Lions
Cool.
get together. And then another just random issue of Marvel Universe with our backer board on that one. Marvel Handbook of the Marvel Universe #1.
Oh wow.
The A's, all the A characters.
And a John Byrne cover.
And John Byrne, that's right. Everybody charge John Byrne. Some more horror. Here we go. We challenge you to read Ghosts. True Tales of the Weird and Supernatural. So the Nazis were trying to shoot down they already shot him down, but his ghost is going to go
Ghost
kill
is gonna come and get him back.
the spirits. Yeah. And then another one.
So I guess they were double bagging everything, or double, comic.
Yeah, a lot of these are two books. Some of them feel like they might be 3 books in a bag. I don't know. So, yeah, thanks, Tina. For $15, I think I did all right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really, big box full of comics, $15.
We got Son of Satan #8 and Son of Satan #7.
Oh, that's a pretty
Nice.
good one. Those are good.
And Superman #347. And a Superman Radio Shack special. Compliments of Radio
Nice.
Power Pack versus Cloak. Cloak and Dagger. Power Pack #26. How about some giant robots? Shogun Warriors #7. And Shogun Warriors #11.
Wasn't like #1 something hot about that recently?
A lot of people have been buying that. It was a toy line. The Shogun Warriors was supposed to be like they were like the robot thing. They were the original robots designed to fight kaiju, right? So they were
Right.
fight Godzilla. And so they had the Shogun Warrior toy. So a lot of people have been buying that graded. I see Bryce Comics has been selling a lot of copies, 9.8 copies of Shogun Warriors.
Mm.
This is a really rough copy. It looks like the Man Thing. This comic New Fear, the Man Thing got a hold of it. It was #8, but it's got some problems down there. So Man Thing #8. Some more Kirby art on Superpowers #6 and Superpowers #5.
Were all the key books kind of cherry picked out? Do you know, or
There's some keys in here I saw. So I mean, yeah, Superpowers #3 and #4.
these are all good run fillers.
Yeah, Trav, you want these superpowers for your Kirby stuff?
Maybe, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Then we got House of Secrets. It came from beyond, bearing the gift of death.
Ooh. I like that cover.
Yeah,
That yellow with the dark behind it, and then the shadow in the yellow is just nice.
The coloring is pretty cool. And you could be in the Superman movie. This is before the first Superman movie came out. You could be in the Superman movie.
Oh wow!
And then we got another House of Secrets House of Secrets presents the origin of the Patchwork Man
Interesting.
in the epic of life and death. And an Avengers epilogue to Secret Wars 2. And the second appearance of Nebula.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
And Nightcrawler number 1.
Hey, there we go.
Not bad.
And Nightcrawler number 2.
Oh, with the shark cover.
Jump the shark.
Yeah. You might want to just set those aside for me too.
Okay. I'll make a pile for you, Trav. No problem.
Awesome.
Hey, here's another book for Trav. 2 more books for Trav. Well, he might not do both of them, but Red Sonja number 1 with Arnold on the cover.
Nice.
That's cool.
And Red Sonja number 2.
Oh, that's both cool.
Yeah. Marvel Saga number 3. Marvel Saga number 4.
I feel like this
Marvel
is like a very
Saga
80s collection.
number 5. Yeah. Marvel Saga number 6. Like I said, the grocery bag thing that he sold me before was insane. It had a ton of McFarlane stuff in it. It had ASM 316 in it, but it had the Hulk cover with the claws.
The claws, yeah. That's
And it was $30 for the whole bag. And,
Wow.
and he told me that guy just told him he has 10 long boxes of the same stuff that he wants to get rid of cheap. And I'm like,
oh, buy them all.
yeah. I'm like, count me in. Give me a call. So he took my number down. There we go. You go, Trav. We can get you the whole run. Superpowers
Nice.
number 1
Wow.
and Superpowers number 2.
Perfect.
So Superpowers, I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know what the origin of this book is? Why they made this book?
No idea.
It's a response to a Marvel book.
Power.
It's a response to Secret Wars.
Oh,
DC wanted to make a book to launch their own line of action figures, like Secret Wars was designed to launch action figures for Marvel. So this launched the Superpowers action figures for DC.
very cool.
Was the story any good?
It's
Could have been that
never
good.
read it, but it looks, the artwork looks crazy. I mean, it's got every major
that cover's
hero
really
and
cool,
villain
actually. With
in
the
it. So, I mean,
we lost Travis somehow, by the way.
oh, did we? He said he was coughing and he wasn't really feeling well. He might be back. Trav, if you come back, I'll pop you back in. So we got some more Shogun Warriors. Shogun Warriors number 14. We've got you now, Dr. Demonicus.
Interesting.
Or does he have them right where he wants them? And then we've got Shogun Warriors number 15. Forward fellow Yakuza. Like the Yakuza is going to take out the Shogun.
Take on the Shogun Warriors? That makes sense.
And maybe they have a Yakuza robot. Looks like maybe they have a Yakuza robot. But this feels like more than 2 issues. There may be like 3 issues in here.
I always thought like building a giant robot to fight other big giant robots seems like an awfully weird way, waste of resources. I don't know. I
mean, well, if you have to fight kaiju, I could get it, but maybe, so we got She-Hulk number 4.
Oh, that's cool.
And She-Hulk number 12.
Oh, so those are nice.
We got some more Captain America. Number 268. I gotta figure out, I don't know how to tell the difference between, so like the ones that have the diamond logo. So there's Whitman.
Oh, which one's Whitman's and which one are Marvel?
Yeah, so there's Whitman, there's the direct, and then there's the newsstand. I don't know how to tell I gotta figure out how to tell the difference on all those. But and then hey, we got a first appearance, Alan. This is a big first appearance.
Okay.
Team America.
Oh wow. That's
if you guys do you remember Team America? Hey, Tessa.
From the South Park guys?
Team America was
So
there were
good.
toys. They had there was the Black Rider. He was the same toy as Evil Knievel basically. You'd wind him up and you'd hit the button and his motorcycle would go flying off and go over jumps and stuff. So
I had
Team
that
America
for Evil Knievel, but not Team
yeah.
America.
So Team America was and there was a whole Team America comic book.
Toy line. Yeah. Okay. So selling toys. Okay.
We got more toy selling. Hey, well, this is kind of a cool book. Punisher miniseries #2. Mike
Oh,
Zack.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That book right there probably pays for the box.
It's in nice shape too. It's in a newsie. It's in nice shape. Some more horror stuff. We've got Ghosts #51. The Haunting Spirit of 76. The Phantom That Would Not Die. This one. The World's Most Famous Phantom.
Interesting.
Yeah, so more horror. And well, this has 2 books, but oh no, it's just a giant book. Oh, 2 books. 2 books, just one of them's not facing the right direction. Okay. So Secrets of Haunted House.
Interesting.
So burn the demons from your soul. Yeah, I'll just shove you in the fire. There we go.
That's what you do. If you got to get rid of all the evil
Is that how you
demons,
get rid of demons? Just shove somebody in the fire?
it'll definitely get rid of the demons
Make
and
the
probably the
demons come out
person.
of 'em. And then Secrets of Haunted House #45. It's kind of a cool cover. This looks like almost like almost looks like Walt Simonson style, but I don't think it's Simonson. But
No idea.
yeah, cool. Tessa, I sent you an invite if you want to jump in. If not, it's cool. We'll just like having you in the chat. Oh, hey, it's Paul. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Hey,
Hey guys,
hey, Nate.
what's
How's
up,
it going?
Richard, Alan, and Big B?
Hey. So we challenge you to read Ghosts, True Tales of the Weird and Supernatural.
I
There's
don't
nothing
know
to be
if I-
scared of. I'm sure. The ghosts are like, why are the ghosts like, shh, be quiet?
Yeah, the ghosts are more scared.
The ghosts are like, wow, yeah, we're gonna get them. They look some freaky looking ghosts too. And then more True Tales. He's getting attacked by a skeleton. Like he's saying, "Come on, what's holding you back?" There's a skeleton coming out of the ground and grabbing his leg. Okay, so True Tales. Okay. Hi, or Tessa says she's driving home. I should probably just like highlight these comments so people listen. She's driving home, but maybe another time. For people watching the replay, Tessa really is here, as well as Tina and everyone else. I'm just not highlighting. Tina says she loves the horror comics. I'm glad you enjoy. This one somebody just highlighted on IG. Oh wow, this is a big bag of stuff. Okay, well, there might be some surprises in here. There's a big bag of House of Secrets.
Be cool if you get
Somebody
like
just highlighted this one on Instagram as like one of their favorite covers of all time. So House of Secrets, this is pretty nice copy too. House of Secrets 114.
I love that cover, man.
Yeah.
Is it roller derby that they're doing?
It's
It's
hockey.
a hockey team coming after an ice skater.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Alan. I thought you were Canadian.
No, it's the size of the screen. It's like
Roller derby. What the?
It looked like roller derby. I don't know.
We
Look
need
like
to take
she's
up we need to take up a collection and get you a tablet so that you're not watching this stuff on your phone, buddy.
It's like
I know.
I'm working on a space that's this big, so it's like
I know.
Right. This one's cool looking. I love the detail on this knight. He's cool looking.
oh, that's nice.
That is a cool cover.
You can't fool me, darling. I know you're hiding in that armor. Okay.
He's been fasting.
He's lying about me for clicks. Absolutely. Another cool Ghosts cover. All this Bronze Age horror. I was like, I saw just a chunk of the Bronze Age horror. And I was like, dude, this is totally a score. So
what did you pick these up today?
yeah. So there. Okay, you didn't hear the whole spiel. So there's a fella. Have you heard of the whole story about the Golden Age honey hole?
Oh yeah, I watched a lot of those videos where you were flipping through. I mean,
Finding some cool things.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
his whole thing is like, if it's more than 10 cents, it's a modern junk book. And
Okay.
so he's like, I got a whole box of modern junk books for you to look at. I'm into I'm into them for about $15. You can have them for about what I'm into them.
Oh my God.
This is that box that we're going through right now. And then he also, so a lot of people they're like, I thought that the Golden Age honey hole was bought out. And I'm like, well, yeah, but then he took all that money and he started buying
New
more
stuff.
stuff. So
how much has he replenished?
I think he's got like 6 short boxes now. And then you weren't here at the beginning. I was saying that he has a giant chest of drawers, and each one is full with 3 stacks. Each drawer is full of 3 stacks of Golden Age books, many of them with no bags or boards on them.
Oh.
Just
So if
in
you
the
ever like
drawer.
go in there and just like with like a camera, just film it, I can tell you what's good and what's not.
I'll try to do that again. So I was going through. My whole reason I was going there tonight was, or today was, it's my son's birthday tomorrow, and
Happy
I was
birthday!
going to go get him a birthday card. And instead, I was like, he really likes the Beagle Boys from Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll go over there. I got a Golden Age connection place where I could probably find some cool books, and I found a couple Beagle Boys books. So
Nice.
Is it worth just blind bidding on it without knowing what's there? Or just giving him an offer of $100 for half of it, or
he knows more than that. So like he has a lot of it marked at like $8 to $10, but then he'll take offers on it. So thank you, Tina. And hey, it's Dr. Plagueis is here too. So hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well.
Nice
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Tired.
I messaged you and I saw you had the little sleeping icon. I'm like, well, maybe he'll get it one, maybe he won't, but
Yeah.
So
It
my
was a
son, for his 16th birthday, his big present was he got to go see his first concert, and it was Metallica in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
My first concert was Metallica with Guns N' Roses when they were on tour together back in the day. That was my literal first concert.
I think my first concert was Corey Hart.
Oh, hey.
God, that might be better, Alan. Sunglasses at night.
Yeah, Sunglasses at Night. That's when it came out. When he came out with that song, I saw it then.
Plagueis, I heard of him at Terrificon. Yes, and Plagueis was at Rose City as well. If you are interested in getting some stickers done for your channel, this guy's the guy. Look, he's trying to build up a good clientele, so reach out to him. He's got some good stuff. He can do shirts. He can do all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see your face too, man. We've talked on Instagram a few times. Nice to meet you.
you just get to see his hands a lot of times in pictures. So hey, don't worry, the captain's got everything under control. The captain's dead. And we challenge you to read The Ghost of the Devil's Chair. Okay. The Ghost in the Devil's
a pretty good run of ghost comics.
Yeah. So I think I told you, Alan, like when I was a kid, our school bus driver would bring on a big garbage bag full of comic books every day, and you could pick out 1 or 2 and read.
Just read them, and then you'd have to return it to the garbage bag at the end, or
Yeah. Hey, it's West Coast Dave Avengers. Hey, Dave, how you doing, brother? If you would like to jump on, you are more than welcome to. I can send you a link. And then 1 more issue of Ghosts here.
The
Ghost
Matador.
Matador.
Mm-hmm.
The colors that DC uses in House of Horrors and Ghosts, like the purples, the deep purples, the teals and stuff, they're
Oh,
always
beautiful, right?
That's
Yeah,
it's
vibrant.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hang on just a second, guys. Somebody have anything else they want to show?
I
Yeah.
just want, since you were showing horror books, I just grabbed my horror books. I have a few.
Well, I'm almost done with this box, and then actually, I'll let you show some horror books. How about we put Hoya on the screen here? Let's make you big. There you go.
Yeah, I thought I had some. I mean, these are just like, dollar bin things that I've picked up over time.
Oh, good. Mine are basically dollar bin books.
This one here is like, isn't this a Jack Kirby? Yeah. Black Magic.
Yeah. That Black Magic is not cheap. That's a good book.
No, this was a good find, but I also know I paid seriously like $1 for this.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a good book.
It was a find. Charlton, Ghostly Haunts.
Nice.
This one here is a childhood book. I've had this one since I was a little kid. I remember, this one in the box and reading it. And then I thought I did. Yeah, I knew I had a ghost. This is the one with the X-ray tiger.
Oh, that's cool.
X-ray tiger.
I don't know,
Is it a tiger or a lion?
Well, probably a lion. Yeah, I guess it's a circus story. Well, I don't know. Don't they look like tigers? They're striped. So
I
it's
think
like
that might be the bars behind it.
I think that's the bars. And it looks like it has a mane.
okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm seeing this on a small screen, so
Right. House of Mystery, very beat up copy, but a Dracula story, vampire story.
Wow, that's cool.
That's cool.
But this is very beat up. And then another iVampire. And this is
cool.
this is another one that I've had since I was a little kid.
I've been trying to get the first appearance of that.
His name, he's not Barnabas as well, is he? There's the other big. What's his name?
Yeah, he does have a name of some kind. I always think these are kind of cool to find. The 100-page specials.
Yeah.
And not especially horror, but man, I love Weird War.
That Dracula one you just showed, Dave says it's Bernie Wrightson.
Oh, no way. Hold on. I'm going back.
Take a look.
I can't go get it because it's on my nightstand, and I think my wife's already gone to bed, but I picked up a Bernie Wrightson anthology series of some kind, and it's like his name is on the cover. Like it's named after him. So I don't know. Yeah. Cool. This is I've not actually read this one.
I think
Dave,
I know the one you're talking about. I think I have it actually.
Yeah, I think what I got is issue 1. I don't know how many there are, but it's really cool. Okay, Weird War. This one is awesome. So there's like Hitler in a space tube. Yeah, and the people around him are like, I don't know, like I get the feeling of like the Time Machine, like the Eloi or something, the people who live above. And so I don't know, like they're like, yeah, here's a leader from the past. Maybe we should wake him up.
So the vampire one you showed with the hand coming out of the ground, that's Wrightson.
Okay. So that would be
that one again.
Yeah, I'll grab it. It's right here. There we go. So this one, yeah, and I could see it.
Oh, I totally see that. I'm looking at the grass and the ground, everything down there, the leaves.
Exactly. Exactly. Like his nature is so distinctive and just, I mean, for lack of a better word, very organic.
Like the weaving of the branches and stuff in the background. Yeah, totally Wrightson there.
Now, this is a reprint, but I actually, and Alan might know too, like I actually think the reprint has the better cover. I hate to say that. But in this Vault of Horror, in the original, the guy doesn't have an axe in his head. It's a, it's like the little reflective things that doctors would wear in the 40s and 50s to reflect light.
Little thing that were in their heads. Yeah.
Yeah. a friend of mine, Uncanny Derek, he had this original and he showed it, and I was like, I have that book. And then when I looked it up, like instead of like that light thing, this guy's got an axe through the head. So I thought that was weird that in the 90s reprint they decided they were gonna, do it that way.
They toned it down for the, they didn't want to get in
They
trouble.
probably
with
toned it down in the Golden
the
Age.
code authority was coming.
Yeah.
They was coming down, so they
And
probably toned it down.
I also find it funny, like this one here, because it is a reprint. Like this is one of the most beat up books I feel like I own. I don't know where I got it, but it's like it's beat up like it's from the 40s.
You aged it.
And then I got two more here that are worth showing off just because they're reprints of cool covers. So the crime suspense stories.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have the actual one of that one.
Of course you do. I
That
love,
one actually was used in the Senate hearings.
I love that.
I mean, some of those reprint ones are worth a fair bit too because they were reprinted way back like in the
Yeah.
80s. I mean,
Oh, you know what? The other one I don't have because I put it in a different stack, Alan, for your challenge for this week. I'm going to try and film that this weekend. So
Oh, cool.
I'm out. But yeah, I do have another. I think it's a crime suspense stories that I thought was a WTF cover, so I went ahead and pulled it.
Cool.
So I'm out, Big B. That's my horror stack.
I'm all out of room for peoples, and I got another person backstage, so I
Who's
invited
backstage?
Hagen is here from Lettuce Comics.
What?
Oh, wow. I always consider like Nate and Hagen a set that you have to, when you they always come together.
We're kind of a couple.
I always do kind of like lump you guys together as one team. Yep. I mean, you guys are great though.
Well, if
I'll drop off. I'm the most boring in the group, so
you're not the most boring. You're the guest of honor. I was gonna say if you want to put me back so that Hagen can come out and shine, I'm happy to just watch for a little bit. That's okay.
All right, I can put you in the background. Are you okay with that?
I'm totally okay with that. Go for it.
Of course, my ears aren't working.
Remove you from stage, and I'm gonna.
I can see mouths moving, but I can't hear.
Well, we can hear you.
But you can't hear us telling him that we can't.
How dare you kick out my
I'm gonna
husband?
Who's
See if I can come back in.
That's Trav. Okay,
I
Travis.
voted against it, Hagen.
We're gonna then Travis drop. We'll bring in Nate and.
They're even
Well, that's
wearing
right.
the same color top.
Yeah,
So whoops.
I do feel better being next to each other. This is my comfort zone.
So Tessa, thanks for hanging out. And
yeah, thanks
Tina
for
wanted
being
to
here.
say cool books all yeah. You're married. Yeah. So I don't know if did you catch the spiel, Hagen?
No,
What happened?
I was indisposed previous to this, but I'm here. now.
So there's a place that I don't know. Have you seen any of the videos for the Golden Age Honey Hole on my channel?
I've seen a few, yeah.
Okay, so the place that I basically teamed up with Ryan from Automatic Comics, and we bought 90% of everything he had.
Mhm.
And Ryan is selling that stuff right now on eBay, and then once we clear costs, then we're going to split profits in the middle. But
Yeah.
anyway, but this guy has been rebuilding his stock, and today I went over there because it's my son's birthday tomorrow, and he really likes the Beagle Boys from Disney. I was going to go get him a birthday card, and I'm like, why don't I go get him a comic book? And I know a place that has Golden Age books for really cheap, and so I went over there looking for Beagle Boys, and he said, he's like, thank God you stopped by. I lost your phone number. I have a bunch of stuff I need to show you. I have a guy to tell you about anything that is more than 10 cents. This guy considers it modern junk. Anything more than a 10-cent cover price. So he's like, I got a box of that modern junk for you to look at. And then the guy, previously he had a grocery bag that he had set aside for me. He's like, here, you can have this whole bag for $30. Let me know if you want it. I got it from the guy who had the modern junk. And it had a bunch of McFarlane stuff in it. ASM 316. It had the Hulk issue with the claws.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, modern junk.
30
Sure.
$30 for the whole bag, right? It's a grocery
Absolute
bag of books.
common trash.
So he has this whole box of Fireball whiskey box.
That is common trash.
Yes, the moving box that sponsored my sophomore, junior, and senior moves in college. I'm very familiar.
Oh wow.
So he says, I'm into the box for $15. You can have the whole thing if you want it. And we've been going through it. It's got a bunch of Bronze Age horror, a few G.I. Joe. It's been a smattering of kind of cool stuff. So I think it was, and I also bought some Golden Age books from him as well. So, but anybody else want to show anything before we go back to the box?
What Golden Age did you pick up?
Well, I will show you. I showed
You
it.
would ask, wouldn't you?
What's that? Richard, did you say you had something you wanted to show or no?
Oh no, you guys actually saw the haul I got today in the.
Well, we did, but the rest of the YouTube didn't see it. If you want to show it off.
How about next time? Because it's all downstairs, and I gotta
Okay,
try to bring it upstairs.
Sounds good. So, okay, well, I'll just continue on then, unless anybody else has something else they want to show. And we'll.
I've
No, I
shown
want to
these
see
books
this. I want to
before.
see this haul, man.
Yeah, show your haul.
All right.
Hold on.
Continuing on with the haul.
Hey, Big B, would you flip me and Richard so that he's not covered by the duck? I'm cool with it. Just drag me up there.
Is that how I do it?
Oh,
Drag you?
jeez.
Yeah, just drag
You
me
want to
up
be
there.
a duck?
No, Richard's the guest of honor. Look,
Well,
I
but
can
then
I can move out of the way.
we got to put Hagen up there next to you.
Thank
I
you.
was gonna ask, but I didn't wanna bogard your show.
All right. This feels like there's maybe more than two comics in here. We got an Action Comics 488. And I always wondered, this guy's, what were they thinking? 460. This guy shoots goop out of the top of his head. What the heck? I don't know. This looks like a haul, a Nate book.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks like something I would pick up.
for your body horror stuff that you like,
Dude, the fact that you know that, I love it. Thank you so much.
Let's see what we got here. We got some Marvel Super Action, so some reprints of Avengers, but a cool. I think Alex Ross redid this cover just recently.
Oh,
but much cooler, with Kang holding the hourglass. Didn't you guys remember? Do you guys remember that cover?
I
I don't think
don't.
I've seen it.
A recent Avengers cover that Alex Ross redid with Kang holding the hourglass. And then this is a cool cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do love Marvel Super Action.
I love when they work words, into the scenery or into the cover like that.
I love
just
that
think that's
Aquaman one with Black Manta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the Flash one with all the rogues that are looking over and it spells out Flash.
Oh, I don't know why. Dr. Plagueis, you're muted. Did you mean to be muted?
Yeah,
Is
my
that-
daughter's making weird noises in the background.
Oh, okay. All right. It's like Dr. Plagueis is muted. Okay, feel free to mute yourself if you have to. Yeah, no, I love when they do, like you said, when they work in the lettering into the words. The Hulk, where it has the Hulk is on the back rock wall.
Yes.
Azar cover.
Yeah, I kind of associate that with like Nick Curdy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, I love those
Aquaman.
covers.
And
Travis
another-
is saying that was the Wade run where they did where Ross did the Kang cover.
Another awesome comic book that was ruined by Toys R Us or a bike ad.
Right, there we go. Here's that
Th-
Toys R Us shopping spree at the top. Right?
I'm just wondering.
Let's not diss the 10-speed racer banner up at the top. I love
I'll
seeing
just-
that.
Cut that off like right there. There we go.
Does DC ever have any of that? Did DC have any low?
Yeah, they had a
advertising?
lot of stuff that went on the covers where it would go over artwork and stuff, ads for movies and stuff when they were doing Superman and
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that. I mean, not back in the Silver Age like that, but yeah, there was a lot of you could win a part, you could play a part in Superman 3. Like, think about that. You could have been there with what's his name? Who's the
Christopher
comedian?
Reeve.
No, who's
Richard
the
Pryor.
comedian?
Prior.
Richard
Oh,
Pryor.
Richard Pryor, yeah.
Well, that one we were just looking at, it was for Superman 1. It said you can have a part in Superman.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Hey,
I always
so
wanted to
this
die in a movie. I always wanted to play either a zombie or like some kind of corpse. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, you mean not for real? You didn't want to die in a movie for real?
No, not for real.
I always wanted to just die in a movie.
Yeah.
Tragically. So this does prove it right here in the corner. Kirby.
Yep, that's Kirby. He did the
Yep.
superpowers run.
That is unmistakably Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
would recognize that jaw anywhere.
Yeah.
Superman.
And then what was this? Calabac Superman.
Oh,
taking on
wow.
Wow.
But okay, Hagen, I already quizzed these guys, but you jumped in afterwards. Do you know what Marvel comic was superpowers made in response to?
Where's the leave studio button? I think it's hidden by my microphone.
It was made in response to Secret Wars. So
Yeah.
DC wanted to launch their own superhero line of figures. So they made the superpowers comics and figures to do that, because that's really what Secret Wars was originally, a toy launch magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got a Marvel 30th anniversary cover. Web of Spider-Man.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
So
that's
That'd be
awesome.
a cool collection to have, like the complete set.
I'm working on it, Alan, but some of them are really hard to
Yeah,
find.
like,
a lot of the
Muppet
Star
Babies.
Comics ones are really
Muppet
hard to
Babies
get.
is the
Yeah.
Muppet Babies, Ewoks.
Muppet
The-
Babies.
The best ones are the
Heathcliff?
most difficult ones to find because
Yeah.
the Muppet Babies one and the Ewoks one are the best, and they're
That's awesome.
impossible.
I'm so glad I'm in good company here. People who appreciate ridiculous crap.
I actually want to find the first appearance of Muppet Babies and stuff like that. I think that'd be so cool to have.
2 first appearances here, Humbug and the first appearance of Solo. Web of Spider-Man.
It's a hot spec book, but guys, you better get on that.
Humbug is definitely coming to the MCU. I know. I mean, look at that. He's got a bunch of Walkmans jacked together to make sonic sounds to attack people.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
What issue of Web of Spider-Man is that?
Number 19. If you want this Web of Spider-Man, I will make sure it gets into your possession, sir. It's a little
That's
dirty.
a big
but
key,
it'll
a
be
Grail
cool.
book.
Bigby, if you've seen even the smallest measurable length of time of one of my videos, you know that I do not care about a dirty book or a low grade book.
So I watched your trade video. So there's a bunch of stuff you had in there that I'd be interested in. We can work something out. I got a bunch of other stuff you probably like.
I took most of it, and Hagen stuff is on the way, and I might
there
have
you go, there you go.
slipped in a Liefeld book.
There you go.
I should be so lucky, Richard. Thank you so much. You truly
Trying to
know
get
me.
rid of them, and I'm just giving them back to you.
So we got Marvel Universe number 3, another John Byrne cover. All the D's, Doctor Doom, Daredevil, Dazzler.
Oh, I don't have that one. Shut up.
You don't have this one?
I
Just
don't.
let me
and-
know. You guys just, I'll set it aside for you.
I mean,
We'll work something out.
awesome. I do. I love Who's Who in Marvel Universe. I love like character stats. It's the D&D nerd in me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that stuff. Hey, so yeah, you guys are married, right? Yeah.
Oh well.
Till death do you part.
Well, at least she doesn't have to wait.
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
And,
those
Secrets of the Haunted House. I've had it with your phony seance. I'm leaving. The man who didn't believe in ghosts.
those Who's was really important because that was way before the collecting cards came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
And in, I think it was the 90s, they did an updated version that had like, they were 3-hole punched so that you could put them in a binder. And they even they even sold a binder.
The
Like,
updates, yeah. It'd be like update 89, and then it was
Yeah.
update. So
I have most of volume 1. I have almost all of volume 1 and a smattering of volume 2. And I have avoided the 3-hole punch ones, but I do
didn't
just
like the
love
3-hole
character
punch
stats.
ones.
I don't think anybody did, but I bet they're
It
rarer.
made sense though because it was easier to kind of flip through, right? But
I'm gonna have to head out.
All right.
The girls
thanks
are
for being
trapped
here,
in the
man.
bathroom with a spider, so
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Spider
I
duty,
just wanted to
Spider-Man.
Better go
stop in
dad
and
it
say
up.
hi.
Well,
I
thank you
might
for
have to
being
head
here,
out
sir.
too. I hear my
Appreciate
wife in the
you.
background.
See you
Good to
guys.
see you.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Doctor.
We'll bring Travis back since Dr. Plagueis is taking off.
And I'll have to hop off too. My wife's calling me in the background.
Alrighty.
All right.
Well, I think we got
See ya,
maybe
Alan.
might be
Okay,
another
see you
right
guys.
cover. But thanks for being
Yep.
here, Alan.
Okay, bye guys.
I'll show you the Golden Age stuff later,
Okay, cool.
or you can rewatch the beginning.
Okay, yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, so we got a cool.
You're still muted, Travis. I can see the mute icon.
There we go. There I am now.
Yeah, so cool jack-o'-lantern. Maybe Wrightson. I don't know. It looks.
Yeah, I mean it kind of has that, but it doesn't say his name anywhere on it, and he's usually got his signature on the book.
It's,
What number-
It's
what number is it?
rights-ish.
Number 139.
I guess we
And
can look
then-
it up.
Then a definitely not a Wrightson cover, but House of Secrets.
Yeah.
Treasure. Oh no. The dragon.
Those House of Secrets and House of Mysteries, if I ever find for a decent price, like I'm gonna start picking those up. I really like those. I think those are neat.
Mm-hmm.
I can make you a good deal.
That is a Wrightson cover, dude.
Oh,
It is
awesome.
I thought
I thought
it
it looks a lot like it stuff. So, hey, so the Hole Punch Marvel, specifically the Marvel ones for the Hole Punch ones, and the DC ones, there was a superheroes Marvel game, and the Hole Punch were actually made for the game.
Okay, but they were also update to Marvel Universe.
They were, and they cross pollinated both the game and the Marvel Universe thing, so that they could use both for the same thing.
So we got some more sectars. I think we have a full run of sectars.
Nice.
We got number 4 and number 3. You got your bug toys right here.
Did anyone actually have those toys? Because I did.
You did?
I did. As a kid, I had
I think there's some sectars comics coming your way.
I mean, I remember you would put the glove on, and that was the legs of the insect.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I don't know. My brother and my parents were really good every Christmas about grabbing whatever the toy line was and throwing a few at us.
Hey, some more Kirby goodness.
There we go.
Heck yeah.
With the Kirby signature right down there in Superman's cape.
Mm.
And that's where that Lex Luthor armor came from, that toy line.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I have the first appearance of that armor. It's in an anniversary issue.
Right.
But yeah, it was designed for the Superpowers line, and they brought it right into the regular continuity.
Oh, looks like Lex Luthor teamed up again with somebody, and he didn't realize how bad they were because he's got a worried look on his face.
Dr. Plagueis just said that the spider he had to go fight was a Black Widow, apparently.
Oh,
so
geez.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
It's good that he went to go take care of that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's Dr. Plagueis, you're formidable. I mean, Natasha's pretty tough. Oh, not that. Okay.
No, it's just Yelena because Natasha's dead.
Yeah. Black Widow's just lurking in his bathroom. But yeah, we got Joker and Penguin down there at the bottom too. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Another Kirby cover. And hey, some more G.I. Joe.
Oh, now I can actually check the issues I really need.
So I think number 40 was the other one that you, and then the yearbook number 1.
Yeah, I have a yearbook number 1.
Here's Michael Golden, which, hey, I just did a video about Michael Golden, but a great Michael Golden cover. Number 36, Newsy. And then a number 37, Newsy. First appearance of Tomax and Zaymot, and I believe.
And they're having a battle on what I'm assuming is a roller coaster?
On a roller coaster. And they dropped this little mini tank on the roller coaster as they're, yeah.
I do need the 37, but I don't need the 40 or the 36.
Okay, you need the first appearance of Tomax and Zema. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try to remember all of these things and make sure you guys all get the books that you want.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, and then we got a Marvel Age, which introduces all of the new Joes for the year, which includes Snake Eyes with his mask, the most famous Snake Eyes.
Is that a wraparound?
Wait a second. That's the wrong sword. That's a scimitar.
That's the sword. No, his sword is a scimitar. It has an eagle head on the handle. It's just that sword that he has with that action figure is a scimitar.
Interesting.
That's an awesome cover.
Yeah.
It is a cool cover. I think it probably is a wraparound. Let's take a look. I don't have anything better to do. No, it's not a wrap. It's this because back in the day, when you would pick up your new copy of Marvel Age, you also got a calendar for that month.
Oh.
You hang on your wall. And it would tell you when the new issues were coming out for all the cool stuff. So. See,
Very smart.
1985, but this one is a day in the life of Marvel Comics, the Bullpen, and Jim Shooter. So I gotta get Jim Shooter to sign this one, eh?
Oh, that's
That'd be
cool.
That is really cool.
right there.
Okay, so they even drew him. I have a question. Like, does anyone know? Is he ridiculously tall?
He is. Yeah, I got to meet him up at SummerCon. He is ridiculously tall.
Wow.
And the man is the kindest, nicest guy you could ever meet. I've heard he didn't do all the nicest, kindest, greatest things when he worked there to some of the people, but as a comic fan and to comic fans, he is one of the nicest, kindest guys. Has amazing stories and is great.
That's cool. Yeah, there's a picture I found of him, and like he is literally like 2 feet taller than everybody else in the picture.
He's one of the guys that wasn't. I talked to a lot of, when I go to shows, a lot of times if there's an older creator, an elder statesman in the comics field, and there's not a lot of people around his table or nobody around his table, I'll make sure to go over and talk to them and just hear what they have to say and talk to them about the history of comics. And there was a guy who, he didn't have a lot of great things to say about Shooter. I mean, he said he did some great things, but he's like, if you got on his wrong side, you would get the Frankenstein face. And that meant you were probably getting fired.
Wow.
So we'll go through the Golden Age stuff again real quick. And then I got some stuff to show from Portland, unless anybody else has something else to show.
You talking about the Rose City Con you just went to?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I said I went and go and looking for books for my son. So Beagle Boys, they're painting the tree outside the window, and they included the bars. And then another Beagle Boys and the Beagle Brats. Nice high grade copy. I mean, and I literally paid like $3 a piece for these books. For the Golden Age ones. For the other ones, I got them for. So I had a stack of like flattened old cigarette packs from like the 1920s through the 1940s. They came in a collection of stuff I got at like a yard sale, and so I took them to this guy, and he gave me a bunch of credit in exchange for them, and then I paid a little bit of cash for the rest of these. So. But then I was saying that he has that big chest of drawers, and it's not in the most well-lit area, and a lot of it's like unbagged, unboarded, and so I'm digging through trying to find high-grade copies of stuff. This one looked really great in the shadows, but there's some damage at the very bottom of it. But I love hot stuff, though. Colors are great. So nice hot stuff.
Yeah, these are definitely books that I don't know very much about, and a lot of them I haven't seen before. So it's always neat to see new stuff.
Hot stuff is is one of the like Casper, that kind of Wendy the Good Little Witch, that universe. So when I was a kid, my parents would take me to flea markets, and like a lot of the books that they would buy me were either Spider-Man or Batman, or it was a lot of Andy Panda and Woody Woodpecker for some reason. So. We got an issue with Woody Woodpecker and Andy Panda. Nice high grade copy of this, 10-cent Dell comic.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, it's a really nice copy. This one, I put a bag on it. It was no bag, just laying in the drawer. No, it's like, I mean, literally, it's beautiful. It's not even dirty. It's like, and then this one also, no bag, no board. Another nice high grade 10-cent Dell. Woody Woodpecker, Andy Panda.
Multiple stories in that, or just one story?
Yeah, multiple short stories.
I don't know if anybody can take 18 pages of Woody Woodpecker, not all at once.
Well,
Right.
I mean, on the side too, there's like all these characters I've never heard of, and I mean, I grew up watching Woody Woodpecker cartoons.
Okay, we gotta highlight some chat. Soup's Getting Wrecked is my jam. Dr. Plague is the hero. Let's do that. Very kind of you to do that. This is all in response to Dr. Plague is getting rid of the Black Widow.
No, that was in response to you going up to creators.
Oh,
at
the
conventions.
elder statement says, I don't know. Did you guys watch my Terrific on video? There was a couple people. The Barbara, she was a creator. She's the first female creator of a character for DC Comics. She had her own booth. She had merch that she had made with her characters and stuff on it. And at points there was like nobody. She was just like staring out at the crowd, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, so I went over there and I filmed her, and then I talked to her for like 20 minutes. I just, I'm not.
Is that your first one, Big B? Or
I mean, it's in the second video. I
okay,
think.
I have that one in my watch list. I watched the one with you and Mr. Akins. When that first one, yeah. My
Mr. Akins
my
the
watch list is
where we
gross
talk
right
through
now.
everything. So that's just the overview, and there's a day 1 video, then there's a day 2 and 3 video. So I think she's in the day 2, 3 video.
Okay.
I started watching that one. I think that's where she was. Yeah.
Yeah, like Carl Potts, another great creator. Nobody standing around him, and he had some amazing art, great stories. I was just like, why? I don't know. It makes me mad. People fawning over a lot of like the new hot artists. And there's these guys that are like Hall of Famers who have been there and done so much for the industry, and nobody's talking.
I didn't have anything for him to sign, unfortunately, but I got to talk with Pat Broderick for like 15, 20 minutes at the Indiana Comic-Con this year. And it was the same thing, man. I mean, he was just in Artist Alley and no one was around him. And it's like he worked on everything in the late 70s and early 80s. So it was just kind of cool to like, I talked to him and let him know, hey man, I collect Captain Atom and I collect Firestorm, and you are all over those freaking books.
Right.
And I feel like he's in his late 70s.
I'd say like, when we talked to Chris, Bronze Age Nerd, and when we talked to Jim Shooter, we didn't ask for autographs. We just wanted to thank him for everything that he did and just shake his hand and listen to his stories. And we took some pictures with him. But we just wanted to have the memories of him and being able to talk to him. It didn't matter that, we weren't there for getting stuff. We just wanted to have an opportunity to talk to him, because there's so many people that you don't get a chance. Like Neil Adams was there just recently. Neil Adams is no longer with us. And it's like, I wish I would have had a chance to talk to him.
Yeah.
But so another nice high grade Andy Panda. I mean, for $3 you can't go wrong on Golden Age books, right? So this is a giant size thick boy. Hot stuff sizzlers. Hot stuff versus the sun. And yeah, multiple stories. You see all the different characters on the side. So and this one,
Wake Up Travis.
Steppo,
guys.
Steppo and Alan are gonna have to fight over this one.
Oh no.
That's going to cause a rift for sure.
Yeah. You know what? If you put that in my pile, maybe we can save their friendship.
I think that might be the best thing, right?
Or mine.
I love the bathing suit. The bath that they made the like all of the that's the
Yeah.
impressive how they all the checks are at the right angles, to emphasize the shapes that they're going around.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It was a very political way of putting that. Congratulations.
Thank you. But I love her quote. The water's cold, burr. It's sending shivers up my spine. We haven't even gotten the water yet. And then this one, it's got a little tanning, but beautiful Atlas book. So pre-Marvel stuff. War number 44. Korean
Oh
War.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's
is-
such a beautiful
that is
cover. I
cool.
mean, just look at the light on that. Just the way they
Yeah,
the way
they
they
pick up the spine and stuff. I mean, look at that.
yeah. But no, look at the character who's getting shot, right? His dropping the gun and that the lighting on him is pretty freaking phenomenal. And then just the different angles of things that are going on around him too, like the guy firing the bazooka at the beach, and then the it's just freaking sweet.
The trade dress is really cool too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them, but like on Free Comic Book Day, they put out a Atlas Free Comic Book Day book that had like all these different, they had a war book, a romance book, a horror book, all these things, and they said these hardcovers were coming, and I haven't seen any of them. And I thought they looked really interesting, to be honest. Like that book there, like I don't know a lot about the Atlas age of comics, but they really had a lot of variety.
Yeah, there was I mean, they were being creative because it was beyond, it was it's post Comics Code Authority, so you had to be politically correct. Although, like you talked to Steppo, he says like a lot of those they were cracking down on the crime and all the other stuff, but like the romance books and a lot of the others, they were getting away with murder in a lot of those. So Rose City. So the day after Rose City, we'll go in reverse chronological order. So Travis and I got to go hang out with Mike from Lunch Money Comics and go have breakfast. And Mike's gonna have a video. And when you guys see the plates of food that were brought to us for breakfast, I'm a big guy. I couldn't finish my plate of food. It was a
dream.
Food.
The biscuits and gravy. Oh my god! It was like the plate was gigantic.
Right.
You don't even know how to describe it. And it was just four biscuits or four halves, 2 biscuits. But the biscuits were this big around. I mean, they were gigantic, and they were this thick. And then so when they cut them in half, it was just like a regular biscuit in half.
What state was this in?
It's in Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon.
I mean,
Okay, because
Hagen's from the South. He can do this.
As a South Carolinian, when you say biscuits and gravy, my ears perk up. I don't know if you can tell from the everything about me, but I was raised on that kind of food. So
Mike had never had chicken fried steak, so I got chicken fried steak and gravy, and he had his first taste of chicken fried steak. He was like, "Oh my god." He's like, I thought it sounded weird for breakfast, but oh my god.
Yeah.
What's it like not eating crab and I don't know, maple syrup or whatever the hell they have up
crab
there?
And maple syrup.
So anyway, so we all went to breakfast, and then Travis took his daughters to the con, and Mike and I went over to see Steppo. I always link those two, Alan and Steppo. We went over to see Steppo. And Mike got to see all of Steppo's cool stuff, and just literally his jaw was on the floor looking at books, and we had an amazing time. And then we left, and Steppo wanted to take us to Excalibur, and we were like, oh, we don't really have time. And then we're driving, and Mike's like, I really kind of want to hit a couple shops. And I'm like, all right, well, let's hit Excalibur. And so we went over to Excalibur Comics. Mike picked up some books there. We actually ran into Dr. Plagueis and Dave from West Coast Avengers there. And we were all hunting comics at the same time. I didn't pick anything up at Excalibur. And then it was so funny because Mike's filming everything for his channel, right? And so we come out of Excalibur, and he's like, okay, we've got it like this much time. What are there? What shops are in the area? And I'm like, there's Cosmic Monkey, which is a little bit further away, and then there's Tasty Cat, which is really close. And I said, Tasty Cat is like mainly Golden Age stuff, and I haven't been there for a long time. And he's like, oh. Oh, okay, we're gonna film like three videos real quick. He's like, so we filmed one video where, all right, we just got done in Excalibur, found some cool stuff, and now we're going to go to Cosmic Monkey. And then we filmed one where we just got done, and now we're going to go to Tasty Cat. And then we filmed one where it was like, we just got done in Excalibur, and unfortunately, we just don't have enough time to go anywhere else. But we went to Tasty Cat. I hadn't been there in a long time, and they have changed from just being like all mostly Golden Age. So they had like dollar bins and $2 bins and a lot. And a lot of stuff. And I tried to get Dave to come there because Dave's got some issues with certain people there, but that guy wasn't there that day. And they had some really cool underground stuff. So Dave, if you're watching, you need to go back there when he's not there because they had cool underground stuff. But they had like a $2 bin, and it had like a ton of like $15 to $30 books in it. And I'm looking through, and I'm like, Mike, you need to film this. And Mike flips through, and he's like, and then I'm like, you need to grab that, and grab that. I started pulling things out, and he's like, well, it's one of them was one of the Dave Stevens books, but it wasn't a Dave Stevens issue. It's it had a John Bolton cover with a vampire on it. Anyway, it's a pretty lady book. You know, usually you find it's the Stevens cover that everybody looks at, but that book was quite valuable, and it was in there for $2. And there was a lot of like other cool first appearances. And so like All-Star Superman #1, which is the one that they're going to be basing. Hey, there's a cat, Tasty Cat.
Yeah.
It's the Super Cat.
Yeah. So they're going to be basing the Superman movie off of All-Star Superman. And they had an All-Star Superman #1.
It makes me so happy that they're going that way.
Yeah.
And that the Supergirl movie is going to be Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's going to be freaking awesome.
Oh God!
So, I pulled out a bunch of stuff for Mike, and then I pulled out a couple other books, and he's like, hey. And I was like, all right, I'll take them. You're not going to get them. So, they had All-Star Batman and Robin, Jim Lee #1,
Nice.
$2, mint condition.
$2.
Yeah, and I don't know if are you guys familiar with Strangers in Paradise?
Yeah.
Amazing independent artist. But Strangers in Paradise #1, it's the second series.
I was going to ask if that was volume 1 or 2.
This is volume 2, but it was $2. It's like I think books were $15 to $20. So it's like it's mint condition. It's like what the heck? So anyway, $2. So that I only picked up a couple books while we were out hunting, and then now we'll go to the show. So the show was super cool. I had a great time. I think the most important fun thing about the show was just meeting everybody, meeting Plagueis, seeing Mike there again. Really, just a couple weeks after seeing him at Terrificon, getting to hang out with Trav, and getting to hang out with Chris, Bronze Age Nerd, as well as Chris from Comic Tropes was there. So we get to hang out with him for a while. Who am I forgetting, Trav? There's somebody I'm forgetting.
You're forgetting Tessa.
And Tessa's
and Fire Guy Ryan.
And Fire Guy Ryan as well. Yeah. So, I would have remembered to say Tessa when we ran into some of the books, because there was a point where Tessa was like, the books showed up right when Tessa showed up. But
yeah.
At one point, there was this fella, though, he was showing his portfolio to Chris from Comic Tropes, and I'm standing like 7 or 8 feet away, and Chris, Bronze Age Nerd, and I are looking at this guy's portfolio, and we're just like eyes like, holy crap! It's in my video for Rose City Comic Con, the whole portfolio. But the guy's artwork was amazing. This guy, he'd had like a catastrophic like a stroke in his life, and he had the thing where he had to press to talk and everything. He's on a little scooter thing, but he still does just amazing artwork. He's a tattoo artist now. I asked him if he had been an artist for the big companies before. Back in the 90s, he had done covers, but he said his true passion was in tattoo work and then just doing painting on the side for his own personal enjoyment. But I got to look through his portfolio and film it, and then he asked me which one I liked the most, and I said the Doctor Doom piece, and he's like, "It's yours," and he signed it to me and personalized it, and so this is.
Oh my gosh.
That is nice, man. Yeah. Wow.
What was his name again?
Mo is what he went by. Mo. I forget his full name is. He signed it Mo. I can't remember his full name, but you watch the video for Rose City Comic Con.
Does he have a place where you can buy prints or anything?
I think on Instagram. I think he sells on
Facebook. So
Okay.
I think if you get a hold of him on Facebook, you can probably buy prints. And he is actually very good friends with Simon Beasley.
Oh my God.
So
One of my favorites.
Beasley was right there while I was talking to him. And the funny thing is, Beasley gave a beer to Dave from West Coast Avengers.
I saw that.
But he offered one to me, and I was like, I don't really drink. And I was like, you dumbass, you should have just had him. He said, yes, can you sign it?
Right.
I got a signed beer from Simon Beasley, but no. But people bring him beer all the time, and he doesn't drink anymore. He's decided that he doesn't want to drink anymore. So he gives them away to other fans walking around the con. So that's kind of fun. But this is just beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah, if anybody finds where to buy prints, shoot that information on over to me, because that's just tremendous.
Yeah.
Yeah. His artwork is just amazing.
Yeah, it's friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
You know Hagen. Brian draws.
I do know
stuff
Hagen.
too.
That's not what we're talking about right now, Trump. We're talking about Mo's artwork.
Yeah. But Brian, your Swamp Thing is one of my favorites.
I was gonna say you sent me your Swamp Thing, and you sent me the Batman prototype.
I was gonna say the Batman as well. That Batman sequence is
Well,
gorgeous.
isn't that Swamp Thing from that Batman sequence?
That Swamp Thing is actually a 2-inch by 2-inch drawing in the Batman pages.
Yeah, it's a whole part of the
series. I cut it out
series.
and blew it up, and people are like, "That's amazing!" And I go, "That's actually a 2-by-2 square in one of the panels." And they're like, "No way!"
Yeah, Tina's commenting that she hasn't seen you draw in a long time. So
you should do a drawing stream.
I have done those in the past, and
I know you should do another one. You know what?
I can wear an amulet and find some sort of Chase lounge to lay upon if you like. You can buy a model.
There we go.
I would totally hang out while you drew, and I would draw too, and mine would be terrible, but I would hang out and watch you draw.
You know what? But drawing is just drawing. I would love to, and we highlight that on West Coast Comics. Just everybody starts somewhere, and you get better. I promise you, you do get better. It just takes a while. And K-pop also. I mean, if you guys, she does art streams on her channel all the time. So if you want to hang out with people doing artwork and see some amazing stuff, a lot of really great guys hopping in there. Actual Dracula, Roscoe. Who am I forgetting, Katie? You name a bunch of people.
I love Roscoe's style.
Roscoe's amazing.
Yeah.
Big Bear, are you going to be drawing for the Heroes for Heroes event?
Yeah, I will be drawing for Heroes for Heroes. I know I've been hit up to do C3. I've got a lot of stuff going on right now with work, so I'm trying to do what I can for what I can. But I will be doing for sure for Heroes during the show. Katie says some people have made a career out of. Oh, there's the Heroes for Heroes scan thing. Travis got up there. If you guys want to scan that,
if you can. I mean, it might not be coming through very well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll make you big in a second.
Yeah, if you want to scan all 8 pixels of that QR code that you can see.
Hey, I'm in 4K. Come on.
That's going to make Trav big.
You can't make me big. Oh, there we are. Oh, yeah, that's way out of focus.
Yeah, that's way out of focus.
And it's still out of focus. It's never going to get in focus.
Trav, you are a moderator. You could drop the Heroes for Heroes link, or Tina, if you're able to drop the Heroes for Heroes link. I don't know if you know where that is, but that's on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're able to do that if you want. So
Cool.
all right, let me go back to showing stuff from Rose City. All right, so where were we at? What was the layout? This is the layout. There we go. All right, so the first day of Rose City Comic Con, showed up at Travis's house. Trav was looking to get some funds to have to use at the show. And so Travis sold me a couple of books at the beginning of that day before we even went to the con. So I picked up this book from Travis, which is the first appearance of the Black Widow. Over there, and they got the big red aeroplane at her.
Yeah.
And also the first appearance of Crimson Dynamo. And then I also picked up a very nice copy of the second appearance of Black Widow. So the first one's kind of rough, but the second one is really nice. So, and also the origin of the Watcher. There we go. I didn't even realize it said that down there. So,
That's really cool.
Well, you know, that first appearance Black Widow was such an expensive book when I got that one. There was just
you say you got that for $50?
$50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then Mike from Lunch Money Comics had showed some books on Instagram that he was trying to move for a buddy. And I said I would be interested in them. And he said, well, I'm going to take them to a show. If they don't sell, they're yours for keep up. Says I heard Kyle has some good stuff for Heroes. Cool. So I got some. So Mike brought them over to Rose City and handed them off to me. So first appearance of Killmonger in Jungle Action, and a cool Tales of Suspense Red Skull cover, and the first appearance of MODOK. You know, there's a big hot spec book, right?
That's awesome.
I am looking for that one. That's one of the bigger stumbling blocks from the issues of Tales of Suspense that I want.
Well, we can talk. I think I might have 2 copies of that, so we'll take a look. I'll take a look.
Yep. I've got my Excel spreadsheet in front of me at all times.
There you go. And first meeting of Cap and the Black Panther.
Have you seen the? It's a modern-ish. It's a modern homage to that. It's a Black Panther. I think Volume 2, Issue 19, or Volume 3, Issue 19. Have you seen that?
I think I may have seen that. It's the same layout with Cap and Black Panther. You gonna grab it?
I've got it. Hold on just a second. I'll show a book. Why not?
Well, while he's looking for that, so then while we're at the show, Bronze was dying for some real coffee. We pointed out, Travis and I are like, there's a place. Should we name the brands that he said weren't real coffee?
Yeah, Dutch Bros is not real coffee.
Dutch Bros
apparently,
is not real coffee. He said it was real milkshake coffee. What else was there? Starbucks. And
Starbucks.
He said BlackRock was almost real coffee. Right?
Yeah, almost real coffee for BlackRock. He'd be fine with BlackRock.
You,
the only real coffee was bikini coffee, wasn't it? That was the.
Oh, yeah, he likes his bikini coffee.
I'm just kidding.
That's another thing. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Fight Club.
you Portland guys live in a different planet when it comes to coffee, man.
Yeah, I have to say I would say that right now I'm pretty hooked on BlackRock when it comes to a chain. If I'm going anywhere, Dutch Bros is probably my second, and then I don't drink coffee when it comes to Starbucks. That's not real. That's stuff that's just earned beans.
For Heroes campaign. Travis was able to put it up there.
Awesome.
So anybody who wants to go there, that's the direct link to do donations. Do you know what we're at, Travis, for a number? Can you see that?
I was just on the page, and then I closed the window. Hang on.
Is now a good time to mention that my wife worked for Starbucks?
Oh,
That's fine.
good time to mention that. It's definitely a good time to mention that.
I mean, they treat their employees well. We're at $525 of 8,000.
There we go. That's our goal is 8,000. Last year we raised just on. I think we just were right at 8,000. Our goal is 8,000 or 9,000 plus this year. So, yeah.
So what's the time frame on that, Brian?
So the auction and everything's gonna be happening Veterans Day, and for those who don't know, this is a charity to benefit helping veterans with mental health crisis and issues, trying to prevent people from harming themselves. So a lot of people who are veterans specifically deal with PTSD and a lot of depression issues, and so we're trying to help raise money and bring that to light and prevent unfortunate things that don't need to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah. So K-pop junkie said yes to something. I'm not sure what yes was. I'm sorry. I'm woefully behind in keeping up with chat, but. So we're waiting in line to get coffee, and I get a text from a friend of mine, and he says, I'm thinking of taking some Avengers books to the show to sell. And I said, what kind of books? And he said, I'll bring them by you before I sell them. And I said, okay. And so while we were standing in line for coffee, he texted me a picture of myself standing in line for coffee. And then he handed me a storefolio full of Avengers books to look at. And about that time, Tessa and Fire Guy Ryan showed up. And so that's in my video. And I said, and some guy just brought me an Avengers #2 and a bunch of other stuff to look at. And so I picked up said pile of Avengers. So I'll show you those. So we got first Nebula. Nice high grade copy of that. The Trial of the Yellow Jacket.
Controversial issue.
Yes, controversial issue. A Kirby cover.
Nice.
You can tell, look at Iron Man. You can totally tell just looking by Iron Man.
I can tell by Wonder Man.
Right.
Yeah.
The first thing that I looked at was Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she looks very Kirby also.
Yeah.
Kirby lady.
She is drawn very specifically by Kirby.
Yes.
Tina's saying good night. Good night, Tina.
All right, Tina. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Bye, Tina.
Night, Tina.
Like I'm raising my voice like I'm shouting.
So she can hear
she's
you.
a way away.
She's all the way over there.
Right. And then I'm not sure who the artist is on this, but really cool. Heads up, people, the Black Panther is back. And so are the Animan. I think maybe that's the Animan. We have the frog.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Or Savage Land Mutates, maybe? It looks like Savage Land Mutates, maybe?
What's the issue number?
105. So yeah, I think it might be Magneto. It looks like Black Panther's tackling Kazar. Is that
Yeah,
Kazar?
he does. He's got him all wrapped up.
Well,
And
but it's weird though. He's got a knife and a sword.
But then there's another Kazar looking guy off to the side right next to Kazar. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it looks like then like Lady Sif though, back there by Vision. I don't know who's in this book. Anyway, Avengers 105. Black Panther's back. And then an Avengers 86. Brainchild is blowing up the world.
I am not a Marvel guy. What is Brainchild? That is awesome.
I have no idea. But apparently his mental powers work on the Vision too, even though he's a robot.
Wow. Child.
Yeah,
of
because
the brain.
that's the thing that's wrong with Brainchild. That's what we're going to work on.
You costume cretins won't stop Brainchild. So Avengers 85. And then a cool Hercules cover, Avengers 39. Nice copy of this one.
I noticed that these numbers are getting lower and lower and lower.
They are getting lower. You didn't know. Well, it's got kind of a little bit of damage up there, but Lower and lower, number 39.
Yeah.
Oh no, a little bit of damage.
And
I'll pay
then
cover price for it.
Yeah, you can put it in my pile.
Avengers 28. This, I think, this is a first appearance of the Collector. So Avengers 28. Nice copy of that one. That was actually pretty high grade on that one. Well, compared to some of these other ones. But
Yeah, that's a gorgeous cover.
yeah. And then this one, Avengers 20.
That's my favorite cover out of them all.
Inked by Wally Wood.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So some Kirby inked by Wally Wood.
I just love that cover. It's one of my favorites.
So that was number 20. And then number 2.
Wow. Holy crap.
Wow.
Hulk leaves the Avengers. Because this guy, he can like shape shift or in the middle. Yeah, right there. And so they think they're fighting the Hulk. And they're saying all these terrible things like, we always knew you were a bad guy. You never were on our side, and you're the worst. And Hulk is there, and he helps them defeat him, but then he's like, I heard everything you said. So he leaves. And there's number 2. And then after the show, we got a couple more books from Trav. So we got a Iron Man 150.
That's a good one.
Iron Man Doom
That
cover.
one feels topical right now.
Yeah, it's very hot right now.
Yeah.
And we
Why
got
did something happen?
What's that? What did something happen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing.
I don't know.
Something happened. I don't know. Trying to come up with something witty, but I can't. All right. And
Are you gonna show the second book? Okay.
yeah, and then this one.
Oh, that's cool. For Spider-Man.
Wow.
Yeah, first one.
That is
Oh,
a
that's
great
her-
cover. I love
With
Nick
her
Fury on that one.
weird costume.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And in this book, they retconned it in Spider-Woman #1. In this book, she's actually a spider that becomes a woman.
Yeah.
And then in the book, they're like, "No, that's not what really happened."
Also, we're going to get rid of the silly headpiece. We're going to show her hair. So it's,
We're gonna get rid of
it's a little better.
So, and then I picked up 2 more books. The other books I got, Trav. Can you show those?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hang on for a second.
Yeah, I picked up 2 more books from Trav. So,
While we're hanging on for a second.
Did you find that one?
Yeah, I did. I
Um,
was going to say just to fill some dead air. This is the Tales of Suspense 98. This is the cover that you showed, and then the homage is this one.
Oh,
Nice.
that's really cool.
Black Panther number 30. I was wrong about
What's
the
the
issue
cover art
number.
from that one?
Let me open it up and see because I don't remember off the top of my head. But I believe it's T'Chaka and Steve because it's a flashback.
For those who don't know, T'Chaka is Black
T'Challa.
Panther's T'Challa's father. Yeah. Because Captain America is old as dirt.
He is. He's as old as ice, though, and not really dirt.
Let's see here. I'll show you the credits here.
Priest and Norm Brayfogle. Okay.
Oh, no.
So
Brave
it doesn't look like Brayfogle's art on the cover, though. It looks like somebody else.
It doesn't look like his.
Yeah, the art on the inside is
Can you show something from the middle art? I just want to see. I've never seen Brayfogle draw a cap.
let me see if I can find a decent one. There we go.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't think that's I'm going to be honest, that's not a name that I'm familiar with.
Norm Brayfogle, he did a lot of like the New Mutants back in the day and stuff.
Yeah, he did New Mutants. He did Fallen Angels.
I mean, for me, he's a Batman artist.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. He's totally a Batman artist.
His run on Batman, like I mean, he's not as revered as Jim Aparo and some other guys, but I think he should be. Like
Yeah.
his run on Batman was like just amazing. Like it was a long time. It was years and years, and it was like when he would do the cover, he would do the interior art.
Yeah. His stuff on Batman is pretty freaking phenomenal. I liked him a lot I liked him on New Mutants. I thought his New Mutants was really good too. Especially now, I mean, when I was younger, I didn't. But now looking at his style, he had this very animated style, kind of like that. The animation I'm thinking of is the Last Unicorn style of animation in his stuff, right? Because it had that.
Is my wife's
It's almost like
world.
it's like all everybody's fingers or almost Bernie Wrightson, I guess, is another way to really look. Him and Bernie Wrightson have a kind of similar.
My gosh, Travis, you're right. He's like he's like a less detailed Wrightson, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like you said, like it's like he's more going for line art than that depth. But the character of what Norm Brayfogle did was very similar.
He had a lot of his expressions were great. I love that about him.
It's funny, his art on New Mutants is different looking than his art on Fallen Angel.
It is.
It looks like a totally different artist, but it's just him flexing his muscles as different styles that he can do. So.
Well, and on top of it, that it was a different. I think when he used different inkers, like when he was I think Fallen Angels was Dan Green, and as much as Dan Green was, that movie that Kevin Smith did, Chasing Amy, and they made fun of the guy who was the inker and called him a tracer.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I kind of always felt like when I see Dan Green's inks, I feel like I'm really just seeing the pencils.
Which is actually a compliment.
Which is a compliment. He's great at bringing out the artists that he was working on. But you look at someone like Terry Austin inking, or looking at some of these other artists who actually add something to it and make it a part of their own, that they gave more depth to it. So you see the difference between Terry Austin inking Brayfogle versus Dan Green, or something like that. And that's where a lot of difference you see in those different books.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
The cover artist was Sal Velluto.
Oh, okay. I know who Sal Velluto is.
Yeah. It's funny. There was a little cartoon about inkers I think it was in a Marvel Age, but it was like it was a sketch by John Byrne, and it showed it inked by like 5 different people, and I was like, and one of them it was the Hulk, another one it was the Hulk, and he's holding like a teddy bear. And it's like well, yeah, it's all these inkers to ink Byrne, and it was like, and then one of them it's like a totally different character. They didn't tell them what they were inking. It was because it was the picture that they selected was so sketchy.
But I have seen like a reel where they've taken someone's pencils and they let different people ink it and show how the nuance in inking is there to bring that out. And how, like you said, Travis, some people might just really want to bring what the pencils were, and other people are going to put their flair on it, which brings a different level or a different depth or a different character to it. And I don't think any of them are
okay.
Yeah.
So if you watch my channel,
every
day, every one of these is inked by someone else.
Yep.
And there are only some people in here. Let me see if I can find one that's that are definitely adding their own flair to. Oh, come on! I see the page right now.
Sorry, y'all. It's Saturday.
Hey, it is Saturday.
Somewhere in the world, different 8 people inking Kirby's art, right?
Yeah.
So. And that's basically what this whole book is, and I at 125 of these, I'll have had finished the whole book.
That's what I'll do a lot of times. I'll take my pencils and I will actually up the contrast really high, make them really black, and I'll go in and clean everything up. and almost like digital inking rather than into just really turning my pencils into inks. Because I want people to see what my artwork looks like, not what somebody else inking over my artwork looks like.
Yeah. And what you just said, there's a friend of mine that draws as well, and he does something very similar. And what I like about that particular, I don't know what you call it, but like technique of doing that contrast, you get an art piece that looks more like the pencils. So I don't know, there's like an organicness to that it's not stark black and white. There's still like little shades of gray in there. And I think that looks I think that looks really cool, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been doing, right? So I've been inking my own stuff. I just finished a piece for Lunch Money because he was in town. I wanted to get that piece to him. I'm working on a piece. I'm working on 2 pieces for Richard.
That progression through.
Yeah, I put up a video with that progression on that. And I do that for everything I do, actually. I have a piece in front of me that I cannot show you guys because I don't want the person who it's for, 35 cent, to see the piece because he doesn't want to see the piece before it's done. So
I thought it had like a boob on it or something.
Oh no, God, we set adult content on this, so and it's not for sexual explicit uses, right? That's all we have to say, and then it's okay, right?
If it's for David, it should have a couple of boobs at least.
So do you have some books to show, Trav? That
I happen to have a couple books that I sold Brian.
Soon to be in my possession. Wow.
Well, yes, they will when I finish the Jack Kirby videos.
What?
Anyway.
Because you want to use it in the background. No, that wasn't the deal, man. Hang on, I'll put you in solo layout. You said one more video. No, one more video, not all of the videos.
Well, you know what? I'm sick, so when you want to come down, I'm sorry about the mess behind me. I had a bunch of eBay
You're
sales.
organizing a comic room. That's okay.
Yeah. So the first book, let's see if we can get that without the glare. There we go. Is a really nice, probably 9.4 to 9.6 copy of X-Men 97.
Not the cartoon.
Beautiful colors, everything out. I mean, this spine is clean. There are no spine ticks on it at all. The only spot that may have a problem is right below the staple there, but the rest of it, it's all together. It's got the Marvel stamp in it and everything. And it's the only X-Men book that has a Marvel stamp. And then this book, I picked up recently and then sold it to Brian, which would be Tales of Suspense number 58. First Captain America and Tales of Suspense.
Wow.
Love that book so much.
So, and that's
Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah.
When I got my copy of that, I showed my buddy, and I told him that it was the first time that they had been in a book together, with the exception of the other one, the big one.
Right.
But he was
4.
like, wow, so they were really fighting from the very beginning. And I was like, it's superhero stories, man. They fight each other as much or more often than they fight villains. Like
It's always got to be
it's
some
kinda
sort
how
of
it is.
understanding, right? Where they're fighting each other. Always got to be, start swinging before you understand the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what I learned from.
I mean, isn't that what happens in the Avengers movie too? I mean, that's one of the big parts of that first Avengers movie, right?
Yeah.
They capture Loki, then Thor comes barreling in, and then they're all fighting, and it's like Captain America stops the fight. That's just.
I actually love that scene. Like that moment was like that was Silver Age comics come to life, and I just I loved that they did that in a movie in the 2000s.
It's almost every single Avengers movie and team up movie. You saw it in Avengers 2 where they fought the Hulkbuster, fought Vision or Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
you see it in Avengers Infinity War, where I think that was there some fight scenes between them.
Yep. It was, well, for a second, it was Iron Man and Doctor Strange versus the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
For
That's
just
right.
a second.
Yep. And then I think Ant-Man versus the Falcon. You always see that. Yep, they always have to fight each other before they fight the villain.
This book that we were talking about earlier, the Black Panther attacks Captain America as a test to see if he's the true Captain America.
Right.
And that's what
Huge
that
violence.
lasts for like eight panels, and that's what they sold the whole book on.
Right. Well, that was the whole thing with his first appearances. He takes on the Fantastic Four to see if he's worthy to rule Wakanda.
Yeah.
Because if I can take out these heroes, then I'm worthy.
Yeah, if I can beat up these 4 nerds, I can rule a country.
Right. That is truly the test. And that's what we should have. Like when whoever wins the presidential election, then they have to take on the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
there you go.
Let's do away with the Electoral College, and instead we'll give them MMA fighting gloves, and they'll have to beat up the entire Nobel Awards
Right.
nomination.
I was gonna say it's not fair if it's people who can fight. I want it to be a nerd fight.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's got to
there
be
you go.
like really awkward to watch.
2 geriatric men and the nerds.
That's hilarious.
I
That's
love
All
it.
right, so I have a question for Hall. Yeah, for
Yeah.
you, Nate. Are you reading the most recent run of Superman right now?
I have read no, I've read pieces of it. I picked up the Bizarro run that they did in Action. But no, I have not jumped on Superman. I was reading World's Finest by Mark
Okay.
Waid for a while.
Right.
And I dropped that off my pull list when Dan Mora left because he went to do all this absolute power stuff. And Dan, I mean, not that Mark Waid, I cannot recommend that run enough. But Dan Mora's art was 50% of the reason
Oh yeah.
that I wanted
No,
it.
Dan Mora's art is fantastic.
Oh my God.
What I was
Yeah.
going to do, I wanted to suggest to you because I just randomly picked up issue 1,
Okay.
and then I put it on my poll list after reading issue 1. It is it's a phenomenal title. Joshua Williamson, do you guys know who he is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's writing it, and so
What-
it's his
He's
story.
writing it? I thought he
Yeah.
was he's more of an artist though, right?
No, Joshua Williamson's a writer. He's the guy who did the Dark Ride, and he ran the storyline of the Nightmare storyline that went through the DC universe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, I mean, and he's set up some really cool stuff going on there. I'm sure some of it has jumped over into Action. So if you've been reading Action, then you know about Luthor being in jail and
Mhm.
and Superman now has Supercorp and all that stuff. So but I just the Superman storyline and the art in it is so good.
Okay.
I recommend it. I
As much
recommend
as I hate it, like I modern comics are so freaking expensive.
yeah.
So I'm really limited on my modern, and I say that as a guy that will like drop $20 on a Silver Age book sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, oh, $4 too much. But month to month, it does. It really adds up. But
Yeah.
So what I've been doing, like I just did this. Like I love Tom King. I know, some people are gonna say whatever, but he is like one of my favorite writers working today. And I never picked up the Wonder Woman run because I thought, she's not a character I care as much about. But I just picked up the trade from the library, so I use my library a lot. So when the trades come out, I'm like, I request them, and so the Wonder Woman trade, I'm about halfway through volume 1. Holy crap, it's so good, And so thank you for saying that because I'll pick up that Superman run as well.
Yeah.
I've been doing that with Detective, with Batman. I mean, I've just been my modern pulls, like what I've been purchasing more than anything else is independent stuff and anthology stuff because I just find that is more bang for my buck. It's more variety. I like seeing differentiation in art and I just said how much I like Dan Mora. But there's a lot of people aping Dan Mora. So a lot of books just kind of look like that as, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of same when it comes to modern books. And it's not that I don't want to read them. It's just that there's there's a homogeny there that can get a little boring. So I'd rather I still want to read it, and I'll read it when it comes out later. But when it comes to month, like I'm picking up so many, the EC stuff that they just have started doing. Hello Darkness is another one. Who's the guy who did Doom Patrol and he did Umbrella Academy?
Oh, Gerald Way.
Gerard Way. Yeah,
Gerard Way.
He's got a new book out from, God, is it Kitchen Sink? No, it's not. Fantagraphics.
Yeah.
He's got a new book out through them that's kind of paranormal something that's kind of, I mean, obviously it's pretty weird. But that's the kind of stuff I like to give a chance right now, more than the superhero stuff.
Right.
He's a little bit musically talented too, right?
He is a little musically talented.
Yeah.
What is it? My Chemical Romance was his band.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance. I think it's technically still his band because I don't think they actually broke up.
Okay.
They did, but there's rumors of a reunion thing.
Well, they were on hiatus forever, but they released a new song a year ago, maybe a little less.
Cool. So I know I'm a DC guy and a Sea of Marvel guy, so I want to throw a Marvel book out there that I gave a chance, and it's on my pull list. I'm sold on one issue, and that is X Factor 1. Did anyone else read it?
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't it such a great idea?
It's a great idea. It's a great book.
So, okay, Mark Russell. Mark Russell is a writer who is so freaking clever. And he wrote a Flintstones book that will blow your freaking mind. Like, it will blow your mind how well he brings in like actual things from the real world and puts them into a Stone Age context. But so his deal with X Factor is that it's kind of like TikTok and any of these like voting shows, like Who Wants to Be a Star or something.
Yeah.
So like the super team is made up of people who get voted on TikTok, and then they go off on their super team mission and half of them die. And so then through TikTok, they're going to get so then there's a new team at the end of issue 1, like most of the team is dead and there's a new team that's going to come out. And I think that could be a genius idea.
Damien,
it's Sleepy Reader. How you doing?
Yeah. Hey.
Speaking of people I didn't get to run into at Portland, we missed each other somehow. But
Nah, the thing that you said about modern books is so unfortunate. I'm going to read X Factor, by the way. That sounds hilarious. But the thing about,
I think you'll dig it, man. I really do.
Somebody in Portland was pitching that whole thing. They were like, one of the creators was there because they were talking about the idea of people as disposable weapons rather than people. So
right. It's like it's going to be like.
Go ahead.
No,
Suicide Squad.
I was just going to say that the thing about like modern books is that $5 is more expensive than we like to think that it is. And so like I only have 4 books on my pull list at my local comic shop. I've got Captain America because I'm a whore. I have Nice House by the Sea because it's amazing. And I have Something is Killing the Children and Transformers. Those are the only ones that I have. And Something is Killing the Children is technically for my wife. So yeah, I mean, and even just when like I pick those up, because I'll wait a week or two and just get a bunch of stuff all at once. Like if I go to the comic book store with $30 and 3 books came in, that's half the budget gone. That's half of what I can spend gone. And I mean, it just sucks that they're that expensive.
Well, and I think I'm 40. I'm almost 48 now. When I was a kid and I went to the comic book store, and Hayden, you're like almost literally half my age at this point. But when I was a kid and we go to the comic book store,
did you just call me Hayden?
I didn't. So it's Saturday night. Hagen.
He's just slow. It's all
when
just
I would go
look back at the marriage certificate, okay?
but You know, my dad would drive me to the comic book store, and because he was a great dad, and he would give me a $20 bill. And when I walked out, because everything was $1, I had a stack. And $20 does not even get you 4 books anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't even get you 4 books. And the idea that kids are going to get into this hobby is ridiculous. The way that we had the opportunity as kids, unless they're going to go in through the dollar bin route. But
Which is a great way to go in. That's a great way to go in.
it is if you want to be historical. But if you want to be current and modern, and kids do, like what I see kids reading is manga. Manga's more fair. The price of mangas and graphic novels is much more fair than comic books are. And
I will say
like
that
$9.99 for a little. I mean, it's, and Marvel started doing trades now that are like, I guess, that are manga formatted and they're priced at that price point.
Yeah.
To make it, like you said, more fair.
I will say that, like, as far as physical media goes, that's absolutely right. But kids tend to like consume stuff like this if they choose to on like with subscription services, like Marvel Unlimited or whatever DC's equivalent is.
DC Infinite. I just canceled my subscription today. That's why I know.
Yeah, so they'll do that, and like some people will like look down their nose and scoff at that because, you know, we spend an ungodly amount of money on old smelly paper. But like I really am just one of those people to where, like, any way you want to get into the hobby, any way you enjoy it, any kind of collector or reader that you are, like, welcome, congratulations, I'm glad you're doing this. Maybe you'll change later, maybe you won't. Either way, it's fine. But things are changing.
Me reading on a tablet is not my thing, but I see it with my son and I see it with kids, and that's fine. And like you said, man, if $8 a month gets you access to that library and they can flip through and read, I totally get it. We're a different beast. I mean, for us, I'm looking at Travis, and this is what, you know, behind him, this is what my room looks like from the point you can't see. Like,
right.
All around here is boxes, you know, like I want to have that physical aspect, but I think a big part of that too is our generation, our you know, where we come from. We don't see the digital and the streaming in the same way as the younger generation does, and that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just had a thing on when Bronze and I were on, where we were talking about digital media versus, and like, what was one of the big streaming services that used to be a big streaming service? Was it Redbox?
Mm-hmm.
Where you owned copies that you could buy. It's gone. All the stuff you paid for is gone.
Right.
You had your library and now you don't.
and
the same thing happened with like Comixology too, didn't it? I'm not super familiar with that, but
well, Comixology is still around, isn't it? I thought they were.
There was some controversy with them. There was
some by Amazon.
And
yeah, I'm not
Damien did just say that kids have the library, which was undreamable in the past, and he's right. Like, there is a local library. For me, I mean, my most local library has the most insane collection of independent books I've ever seen. Like, that seems to be whoever's buying their comic books, they buy independent stuff. So they have like My Name is Monsters, or My Favorite Thing is Monsters, and Mobius stuff, and just a lot of strange independent graphic novels. Then another one town over is all the superhero stuff. If you go look, you will see every Batman, every Flash, every Captain America, like all of those trade paperbacks and hardcovers. And then in addition to that, like, if I want something, a friend of mine just recommended Archie 1941. So it's Archie comics, but it's written by Mark Waid, and Archie and Jughead and Betty and Veronica, they're graduating high school and World War II happens. And he's like, you should read it. It's really good. So I went on the app for the library and I searched it up, and I just got it. I picked it up today. Like, the opportunity to, first and foremost, I feel like I'm a reader. I know that I buy things and I am a consumer, but first and foremost, I'm in this for the read and for the story. And to have that at our fingertips is just freaking amazing. And oh my God, the Simpsons comics, man. Like, I never had the Bongo app, but like, that's one of those things. Like, it's hard to track those down. People who like those books, they're not getting rid of them. So they're hard to find. And when you find them, they're expensive.
The Treehouse of Horror books are amazing, and they're hard to find. They're expensive.
There is I bought it. It's in my bedroom, so I can't go get it because I'll wake my wife up. But it is a slipcase hardcover that they just released of all these reprints, and it's a glow in the dark. It's oversized. It's freaking gorgeous. And like, if that's something you're into, I cannot recommend that way to get it enough. And that's from a guy who has several of the trade paperbacks and things as well. Like, I have a lot of the individual issues, but like, there's just something to say about like a reprint omnibus for the read, you know?
Yeah.
But like what Flippy Reader was saying about the library unreadable in the past. So like the ability to read stuff digitally, like, we didn't have that back in the day. So like, if you missed an issue and you're trying to hunt that thing down for years, you're like, I just don't understand how to connect the dot from this to that until you actually get the issue and we're able to read it. But now you can read everything literally that's come out since the platinum age of comics, all the way to now. So I mean, that's pretty cool.
I hate to say it, but I have
it makes it like you don't have to read, you don't have to go collect and hunt down everything. So
as much as this physical monstrosity behind me looks like a collection, I also have 23 gigs of comic books on a Dropbox.
He also has a bunch of boxes in another room that are his personal collection.
Right. Most of this is not my personal collection.
This is stuff for Whatnot and everything. But
that's I don't know. I think there's just something about this hobby where it's like, don't you find it insane like how much we're willing to read and purchase and hold in our brains for continuity?
Oh yeah.
Different universes, different companies.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me how much, like, I'm not a Marvel guy and I know a lot of Marvel stuff.
Right.
If you're, even if you're not a DC guy, there's a lot of DC lore that because you just absorb it through the culture. And I don't know, man. There's just something about like this right now, the five of us sitting here and being able to, like, we could bring up anything and all of us would have a connection to it.
Right.
Well, I'm with you on that. I mean, when everybody's talking about their pull list, I try to get quiet when I don't, because my pull list is way too big, and I need to pare it down. But you were saying you're picking up the EC books. I pick up the EC books. I'm picking up Energon Universe. I'll just say Energon Universe, and then imagine what that is. Which is not just that's Transformers. That's G.I. Joe. That's
one I want to read, but I don't want to step into that because I get what you're saying. Like, I don't want to commit to it.
Well,
that's another $20 a month.
Right. I hate to say this, but you need to read Transformers.
And I will.
You can just read Transformers.
Yeah, you can just read Transformers, but it's Daniel Warren Johnson's. He is an incredible writer. He's written some very incredible things, but this, I don't know how to describe. My 18-year-old daughter, she started reading this when I started reading it because she was into G1 Transformers, and she is in love with this story, and to the point where she's now reading the back, and she reads all the letters pages. Like, she reads the letters page. I'm going to write this letter. I'm like, go for it, do that, and she never does. But she's like, should I read Void Rivals? And I'm like, you should read Void Rivals because it's totally tied to Transformers. But it's like this whole thing. You don't have to read it to understand Transformers. But it's just, but the stories are so unique and so good and so interesting.
It sounds to me like they're doing a good job of like almost doing what Marvel did back in the day, where it was everything was interconnected and pretty well written, and so you'd be like, well, I really enjoyed seeing Daredevil in that thing, so maybe I'll read a little Daredevil, and then you were like, well, I really like that, so you'd be like, and everything was interwoven very intricately, and they got away from that, and I think that kind of hurt them, but it used to be, and then that was under Shooter.
Mm-hmm.
That he made sure that everything made sense as far as continuity and everything going.
Bronze Age Nerd said something I want to touch on. He said those books are $1.99 on Comixology 2 months later. They are also $1.50. So a $5 book will be $1.50 at Half Price Books. Now I know not everybody has access to that, but that's a chain that I have here. I collected World's Finest, and I had started at like issue 10, I think, is when I jumped on. I later on was at a Half Price Books, and I literally found 1 through 9 for $1.50 each. Cover price $3.99 or $4.99, and that's another like.
To it?
I'm sorry.
So did they stick a sticker to it though?
Oh God, no! Thank freaking
they do
God.
That. The one around here.
God, so they've stopped doing it here. Thank goodness, because like I mean, I brought it up before. My Dazzler #1 cost me 50 cents because it has a 50 freaking cent sticker stuck on the cover. It drove me crazy when they would do that in their discount bin, and they would just, I get it. I get that the book's
and I
only
looked at the discount bin and I go, this is a $50 book. Why is it in the discount bin? That means it's been here for months.
Exactly.
And then you stuck a 50-cent sticker on it.
But I feel like that's a problem with the comic book industry as a whole, is that there's, a book costs $5, but later on when it doesn't sell, it's not worth that. So I wish they could find a way to find a happy medium. I mean,
could be the opposite though. Could be the opposite though. Is a $2 book 1 year later could be a $50 book because it's the first one. So I was just about to say I don't have a pull list because I'm impatient. When I want to read something, I can't wait another month to read it. So, and I usually wait for you guys to give reviews on modern comics for me to read the whole story. I want to sit down and read it for the next few days or just read it the same night. It's been difficult for me because I've been burned in the past having a pull list. Book gets interesting, then it drops off, and now I don't know when I want to drop the book or not. But it's patience for me, and I lived a good part of my life from 2010 to about 2017 in China. So when I came back, I had a whole list of just huge runs that I could just catch up on. And like you said, Nate, I could get these for much cheaper than buying them off the shelf.
Yeah,
except for those key issues every once in a while, right?
And
yeah, those are the ones that always get me.
So I want to, the keys are all. I mean, you can't avoid that. There's always going to be. I am a run collector too for certain things, and there's always 1 or 2 in the run that you're like, damn it, why does this one have to be so much? But it's because that's the nature of being a run collector. But Richard, I would specifically like to know, like, what is something that is modern-ish that you have read that you say this is a good book that people should read? If you, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, buddy. It's just
I'm gonna tack onto that and ask you on the flip side, what did you think you would like that you dropped off of because you did mention that?
Thor. I think that the Thor series got started with the black, guys already know Infinity Gauntlet. There was a black Infinity Stone, and then the story just didn't kind of go anywhere with Thanos or Thor chasing down Thanos for the black Infinity Stone, and it just kind of disappointed me. It wasn't going anywhere. It stalled. So just drop that one. But for news stories, I got my X-Men 1 from Travis and enjoyed it, but it's just I just didn't want to wait. I didn't want to continue with X-Men 2 and then all the X Factors and Excaliburs and all the other ones that had different teams. I just felt like if I'm going to go in down this rabbit hole, I got to get all of them. And I really don't want to be having 3 different storylines and trying to remember what happened a month ago. So
Yeah.
I want to run. I just want to be able to just pick up 10 comic books and read a whole story.
And I think that's fair, man. I mean, I'm with you on a lot of things, but I'm going to say, please give X Factor. So X Factor to me is like, I have always shied away from X-Men because it just feels like I've talked about this before, but I just feel like it's its own universe and it's hard to follow. But for whatever reason, X Factor has always been its own insular thing that I can follow easily, even the first volume 1. But when Peter David did the one in the early 2000s, he did a lot of really, really cool stuff. So if you wanted to check out like an X book, Peter David's run on X Factor, and I'm sorry, I cannot think of the year, but it was the early 2000s where he made Multiple Man the main character, but then all these other characters from old X Factor runs were around it as well. It was so good. And now this one that Mark Russell just started feels so similar to that. Like we're going to get something where you're not going to need to be in the X universe. You're going to be able to just read this book and follow the story that's happening and have a good time.
Yeah, it feels like a Suicide Squad almost.
They've done a bunch of stuff where it's like almost self-contained for X books. Like back in the day, Astonishing X-Men was that way, and it was so good and so well done. And I think maybe they're kind of doing that a lot with the relaunch stuff. Trav could probably speak.
Yeah, I would say that these titles don't necessarily cross over with each other. I mean, you could read, other than the only crossover is the Phoenix storyline because she's communicating with Scott, and that's about as much of a crossover there is right now. But man, there's a title that out of those X books, the 3 titles that really got me and I wasn't ready for. One was the Phoenix storyline, blew me away. And the other one was X-Force. I was shocked by X-Force. I was expecting X-Force, and here I'm getting what feels like original X-Men, like 60s X-Men style storylines where they're dealing with the supernatural or dealing with this these weird entity things of these time bubbles that they're having to go and do stuff. And I'm digging it because it's totally outside of your typical X-Men storyline, even though you've got X-Men characters that you are familiar with, right? There's only been 1 of Uncanny so far. I think 2 just came out. I haven't read 2 yet. But that one's an interesting storyline because it's Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Remy, and
group, right?
Right. It's just it's 4 characters. And so that's interesting just because it's totally kind of like its own thing. Wolverine just came out. I haven't read it yet. I have my copy of Wolverine. I haven't read that one yet.
Is that Wolverine or Life of Wolverine?
Huh?
Wolverine or Life of Wolverine?
No. There's a new Wolverine. Life of Wolverine was a one-shot. And then there's a new Wolverine title that just rolled out of the ashes.
And that's the one with him fighting the dinosaur in the first issue, right?
No, that's Wolverine Revenge, which is written by Jonathan Hickman and drawn by Greg Capullo. And that's a separate story altogether.
Oh, okay. I heard good things about that. Like, okay, somewhere in the comments, somebody, I think it was Katie, said something about like not picking up new books and waiting. And we
had a great conversation going on in that chat here about the people.
Yeah.
Like Damien said, this seems like that they're almost tempting people or taunting people to become trade paperback people and wait just for the trades to come out.
Well, I think that might be what that's kind of, I hate to say this and I don't want to say this because I like the weekly like going to my comic shop and picking up my books every week. Of course, I work for the comic shop, so my pull list is big because I get paid in comic books.
Yeah.
So that's a difference for a lot of people. Plus, it allows me to get some extra books for adding to sell, and I can sell them for cheaper for people. So anyway, but I would hate that. Although I have to say, I mean, and I know he's not popular with everybody, but Eric July's model for doing comic books is not an unheard of idea. These short trades that are, $15 to $20, depending on how many pages they are, with an interesting story and an artist like that.
I'm showing it to Damien while you're talking.
So, but generally speaking, I mean, it makes you read that issue 1 and it's 64 pages long, and you're like, I'm satisfied. I've had a complete story. And then it leaves you hanging for, there's going to be more stories following this, right? And so you're going to be picking up you're going to pick up I Saw Him 2, or you're going to pick up this story, or you're going to pick up this story. And it's I've been actually pretty pleased with everything, with exception of one, which was strangely the Chuck Dixon storyline. I was disappointed because I hated all the characters. In fact, the only character I liked was a lesser character in the storyline who ends up saving everybody. And on top of it, the art was so inconsistent because they had multiple inkers on one artist, and the coloring and the inking were it was a mess, to be honest with you. Story was good. I mean, it had a good flow, but the art and the changing of the inkers and how heavy or lighter the inkers were, depending on stuff, and it was hard. It was hard to follow.
Travis, I used to work at a comic book shop, and so you work at one as well. Like that's
I do right now. I do website, and I'm starting to do social media stuff for them.
Okay, so I have never seen a business in my life that requires so much purchasing, and I mean that on the part of the business. Like they have to have toys, and they have to have stickers, and they have to have cards, and they have to have like the amount of things that they have to purchase from a variety of vendors and have available for people to walk in and purchase or not purchase. Like it's such a gamble. Yeah. And one of the reasons that I still maintain a pull list, and one of the reasons that I still buy current books, is because I'm afraid that, I mean, I hate to say this out loud, but I just feel like the industry is on a precipice of becoming obsolete and extinct. Yeah. If I feel like if I'm not supporting it by buying new books won't continue to happen.
Right.
Yeah, and that means, like, as you know, there were guys when I worked there, and it was 20 years ago. But when I worked at the comic shop, that's when people started trade waiting for the Ultimate books. The Ultimate books were coming out, but they knew that every 6 issues they were going to get a trade. So they didn't buy the individuals, they waited for the trade. And that made me nervous, because if someone's not buying the individual issues, then there's not a trade to come out for them to buy.
Guess what happened to the Ultimate books, though?
And that's how I feel now. Like,
these books aren't selling.
No,
these books aren't selling. We're going to kill the Ultimate Universe. And
I worry about that still. Like, there are just so many amazing stories happening. Like, and I'm with you, Katie. Like, I buy mostly independent books, Boom and IDW and Dynamite. There's a lot of great stuff. Fantagraphics. There's just so many great books coming out from the independent studios. But if the big two aren't carrying the industry, isn't it gone?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, the question really, I think the actual question is, with the market as it is, are the big two really carrying the industry? I mean, they're carrying they carry the weight of the most publishing, but
Yeah, that's
they've
what I
even
mean.
combined their publishing. I mean, Penguin Random House is doing all of Marvel's books.
Yeah,
So-
I would say no, that the industry isn't gone, but the industry will be different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Comic books will always be around. It's a way for people to express and people put out their own zines and all kinds of independently published books. And so it's always going to be around. There's always going to be some stuff coming out that's going to be in that format. And we're all, I mean, till the end of time, we're going to see something. Even if Marvel and DC go the way of the dinosaur, they're still going to have your local guy. There are local cons everywhere that are dedicated to nothing but indies. Like there's one here in Portland called, I think it's called Stumptown. And it's just a convention of nothing but indie people doing their own self-published fanzines and little self-published books. So
and Katie's last comment there: DC and Marvel need to scale down the current titles and focus on quality. I 100% not disagree. I'm sorry, I 100% agree. Like I wish they would like hone in and say, this is our Batman book and we're gonna make it freaking amazing, and this is our Superman title, and we're gonna, because they sprawl everything out to the point that you don't know what to focus on, and you really don't know what to focus on for $5 a copy.
I was just about to say that it depends on how you measure it. If you want to measure it on sales, then yeah, DC and Marvel are going to be. But if you measure it on storytelling, if you measure it on maybe customer satisfaction or how invested, or just go from comic book. What's the return rate from buying issue number 1 to issue number 2? I think indie books are probably going to lead that because people are more interested in them. The volume might not be there.
I'm not up on like a lot of the what's going on with what, but some of the new and Katie could probably tell me which ones there are, but some of the new publishers have offered full returnability on their books, which is unheard of. So if it's not good and it's not selling, it goes back and you can return it as so. Like,
so I have this
money where your mouth is, right?
I have this weird theory with comic books in this particular time period, that if they could figure out a way to recapture any part of that lightning in the bottle of the 90s where they were printing literally millions of books, like if the comic book industry like lit up all of a sudden, the era we're in right now will actually be like, it doesn't matter if it's a key or not, those books will be so freaking expensive because there's so few of them compared to other eras.
Right. The 90s though is not a good era to point to because it wasn't the focus wasn't on quality of story.
I was just about to say that.
And I didn't mean that in terms
the
of
millions
quality.
of copies that were sold in the 90s that led to an issue where they were doing more gimmicks and poor storytelling and in first characters.
Extreme Studios.
Yeah,
Wait,
I mean, there was some good stuff there.
I have stock in Extreme Studios. What are you saying, Travis?
Lettuce's wife, Hagen's wife, used to work for Extreme Studios.
now we're going.
She was paid in Blockbuster option stock.
She was paid in what? In stock
in
foil
Blockbuster stock.
Starbucks. Would you say stock? Something stock.
No, he
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster stock.
We were just talking about the 90s, and I don't know, guys. I hit the wall about 5 minutes ago. And I
appreciate
know
you
that
being here, man. I totally appreciate you being here.
Somehow I'm like one of the first ones to knock out, but I had a really great time hanging out with you guys.
Hit me up on IG on what books that we looked at tonight that you were interested in.
If you promise never to call it IG in my presence again, I absolutely will.
What's that?
It's not important.
Okay.
I
won't
so
say
like you
Instagram.
saying
He gets,
IG.
look, as his husband, I know he gets cranky when he's tired.
I'm sorry.
Just come in and tuck me in when you get done. Okay.
I'll be there in a few, honey.
Okay.
I'm gonna finish
It's
this.
funny
drink.
that.
Good night, Hagen. Thank you for being
Night,
here.
See
Hagen.
you guys later.
Good night, Hagen. It was always good talking with you, man.
So yeah, I was, but well, and now he's gone. But I wanted to put out. You guys were talking about how expensive new comics are and everything, and like I buy a lot of stuff in bulk. So I want to put out like if you guys, I've been toying with the idea of doing something where because I have boxes and boxes if I haven't even gone through, but there'll be like 5 and 10 copies of a lot of new books and stuff that I'd be willing to give you guys for a couple bucks or whatever, you know. So I've been toying with the idea of doing something called like private pick or something where I do a show and have somebody come on and we just go through a box and you say, hey, I want that, and that, you know, and I start making a pile for you or whatever, and then we continue going on later on IG. But we talk more about like what new titles that you guys want to, because it would help you guys try out new stuff that you might not want to try at $5 a copy, but at $2 you might want to pick it up.
Yeah, I wish I've said for a while, like I think I get that printing costs have gone up, that paper quality is much different. Like when I look at books from the 80s and 90s and that newsprint quality, you know, they look better now, no question, but like, does that matter? You know, because I'm still buying books from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. Like, obviously, like it doesn't bother me. So I don't know why they can't find a happy medium to still sell a book for at most $3. Like that feels like a ceiling that most people would be way more comfortable with.
And I think,
well, you got your shareholders and everybody else that you got to keep happy. You know, you've also got all the cost of employing people and everything has gone up. So you got all the people who work on that book or who work for the company producing all the stuff, and it costs more, unfortunately.
Yeah,
yeah. Hey guys,
well,
I'm really sorry. I have to go. I've got some stuff going on in the background here, so
Night, Travis.
And I'm sick, and I need to get some sleep. So
all right. Well, rest up. Feel good, buddy. It's good to see you.
It was wonderful hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
yeah, Travis.
I do want to say, like, and Katie just said that more of the indie guys want newspaper, but printers don't offer it. She's right. She's right. Like, they don't offer a cheaper option anymore like they used to. I've heard that from somebody who is a independent creator. Like, they looked for a way to make their book as cheap as possible, and they just literally did not have the option. Like, that cheaper option does not exist in this modern age. But I don't know what the answer is. It's just, it's hard when I go to the store and they give me my pull list and then I walk the wall and I grab a few more things and I go up there and then the price they give me, it's kind of shocking. You know,
I spent $40, right? I spent $50, right?
And it's not that many books, right?
Right.
Like, that's the thing. And that doesn't, there are great stories being told right now. Like, there are really good books that I like, and it just kind of, I don't know, it makes me sad that like there are kids cannot have the same experience that I used to have.
I want to go ahead.
Please do.
I want to second exactly what you said about getting the price down. For a $3 book, I'm more willing to invest in it, not knowing what it's going to be about, than $5 on a book and just being disappointed. I'm going to pass every time. $3 will get me where, you know what, I'll try it. I'll see what it's like. If I don't like it, it's $3. But $5, I'm going to pass until someone says, like Travis says, read Transformers.
Yeah.
Then you got me. So it's word of mouth. But other than that, I'm not going to go into a comic book store and risk a new title.
Yeah.
There you go, Chris. You need to do your news channel and review and promote books and tell people what's good and what's not good. And then Richard will buy the books that you say are good. And people will live and die on your reviews.
There's a couple of, like, I grabbed, it was Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime. Like, I wanted that badly, and I think it was $6.99, maybe $7.99, and it hurt to buy. I knew it was a one shot, but I really wanted to check it out, so I did, and I don't regret it. But it was like, I can see most people would walk by that and say, absolutely not. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna pay that much money for a book.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I don't want to get. Oh, bye, Chris. Thanks for being here.
See you, man.
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
But yeah, I remember on the Best Coast, your show, Best Coast Comics.
On Monday, but I got to go
Yeah,
pick up stuff from Chris at 8 in the
if
morning tomorrow.
if you guys absolutely create a channel and say, here's the poll list, and here's the books you should be reading, and here's the storyline, and compare it to something else, is if you like, a Secret Wars, this is a book for you. If you like,
Right?
Green
Yeah.
Lantern, and this is a story for you. If you like Hickman, and this is very Hickman-ish like. Just
Richard's pitching for you here, Bronze.
But what you just said, I mean, that's true, but at the same time, what you said earlier is more true. Like if it was just cheaper, we would be more willing to take those risks. And it's I really struggle, not to get into a whole nother thing, but like they're charging all this money, and I saw that Peter David, a writer that I really like, has a GoFundMe for his freaking healthcare. He's in the hospital because they don't take care of their creatives. They're work for hire, and and so like where is all this money going? It's not going into the pockets of the people who wrote it, the people who drew it. They're still getting like a lot of people who draw comics are finding other places that they can make a lot more money, and that's a shame because
That's
there's
like
a lot
the
of
fellow who said that he drew this, right? But he said he
Mhm.
used to work for the big companies and paint covers for them, and he said he made more money tattooing and just painting
Yeah.
on his own.
And I've heard that from a lot of people.
which is shocking because you put one tattoo on one person's paying for it instead of selling thousands, tens of thousands, millions of copies of a comic book.
But
That
it doesn't.
even a fraction of a penny of a million should add up to a lot over one tattoo.
But they pay the page rate for people who, I mean, outside of your superstar artist, they get the same page rate no matter how many copies it sells. And
So
that's
Bronze is saying that he would do the idea, Richard, if he didn't get his books 1 to 2 weeks after they came out from an online store. Well, Bronze, you just got to, if you get to where you're doing that, you would get your books would be sent to you ahead of time from the publisher so that you could review them and have your review out before the book came out. That's just how it would be.
and yeah, Sleepy
And
Reader
you get free
says
copies of everything.
Sleepy Reader says creators have had their page rates stay the same for 20 or 30 years, and I've heard literally the same thing. Like the price has gone up literally 5 times in the last 20 years, from $1 to $5, but the page rate for art is still the same unless you're one of the superstars, unless you're like a known, yes.
Bigby, you just brought that up on your channel as a female artist. Just said something online. Just said haven't had a pay increase. Wasn't complaining.
Oh yeah, it was Bronze. If you're still here, shout out her name. I can't remember her name. She was just talking about how that she's the gal who's doing the covers for She-Hulk. And she won two. She won 2 major Eisner Awards, I believe, for her artwork, and then they started selling her artwork as a spiff for the Marvel Snap game. And she's not getting any. She's getting credit, but she's not. She's getting credited as she did the artwork. It says art by, but she's not getting any payment for it. They're getting money for every. Jen Bartel. That's right, Jen Bartel.
Okay.
Yeah. So both K-pop and Chris get me. Thank you. But yeah, it's interesting, and we just went to a panel where they were talking about breaking into comics, and breaking into comics as not being it was also co-hosted by Chris from Comic Tropes, but as not necessarily being an artist or a writer, but different things you can do, being a flatter or which is the preliminary color person before the colorist gets a hold of it, being a translator, there's a lot of different things and jobs in comics that aren't the ones that everybody thinks of. But they were talking about, they said it's a labor of love. It's not, you're not going to get rich doing it. Yeah, it's just like you said, unless you become like that superstar talent, you're not going to see.
But even the superstars. So I was at a Chicago con many years ago, Mark Bagley was doing a panel, and he was talking about how he constantly saw his own artwork on lunchboxes and folders and things that were being sold, and he wasn't getting a nickel from it. Now, on this panel was also Joe Quesada, who is the EIC editor-in-chief at the time of Marvel, and Brian Bendis and Mark Millar. And Quesada like shot daggers at Bagley when he said that out loud. Like, he looked at him like, well, you got paid for doing the art. And that's the thing.
You
like,
can use it in perpetuity for everything you want to.
it's so exploitive on the part of the company, and I find that disgusting. Like, Mark Bagley draws something for Ultimate Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man, whatever it was, and just because he drew it for that comic book, Marvel, which wasn't even Disney at the time. Can you imagine how bad it is now that it's Disney owned? It wasn't even Disney owned at that time, but like the perpetuity clause of that they could put it on anything. And it didn't mean that they needed to give him another cent, no matter how much more money it made for the company, is just gross. It's just gross.
And then, so the panel that we were at, they were talking about that, and they were saying how that in a lot of other industries, like the textiles industry and that kind of stuff, where you license an image to use for print, if you license it to be on like pillowcases or something, and then you decide you want to put it on pajamas, you have to pay for an entirely different contract, and the artist gets money for the new license. But that's not how it goes with the comics art. So
it's not like
pretty sad that way. And like you're saying, it's sad because like a lot of these guys, they don't have the money to pay for the healthcare and for a lot of those things that they need to pay for. I mean, I'm sure that they make a decent living, like people who are, like Bagley and whatnot, but I mean,
there's plenty of people who aren't Bagley.
Right.
There's plenty of them. And there's no reason that they cannot have a livable wage, and that if their art is repurposed in a different medium, like you said, whether it's pajamas or whatever, like they should get a cut of that. Like you don't get the product if you don't have the material to make the product from. Like it's just basic like decency, in my opinion. And that makes it hard for me to support these companies too.
Well, yeah, even you want to take it the full gamut of like getting to where you talk like scary stuff. It's like, okay, now the companies go, okay, yeah, we have to pay you X, we have to pay you for this and this and this. Okay, well, fine, we've got enough examples of your guys' art. We know what the public wants to see. AI.
Here comes. I knew it. And here comes AI, right?
And now we don't have to pay anybody. It's like, and so now we can reuse that AI, which is based off of Mark Bagley and based off of Jim Lee and based off of everybody else, and we don't have to pay for it. So that's the scary everybody sees on the horizon thing. So
I really hope. I mean, I've got to get off here too, because it's almost 3 a.m. my time.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm having fun talking to you.
Dude, I'm having a blast. I don't think you and I have ever had a real hangout, even though we've talked to each other several times. And I mean, don't take any offense to this, but like the fact that Richard was willing to come on camera is what made me say, no matter how drunk I am, no matter how late it is, I'm coming on here. Because and let me come back real quick to the very beginning of this. Richard is one of the nicest, and like when I started making YouTube videos, he's one of the first people that watched me and said nice things to me. And Richard, I want you to know that I like legitimately appreciate all of that, and I appreciate you, and you're a very important person to me, but not just to me, like to this little circle of the community that I've become a part of. And we adore you, man. And so please know that. And thank you. No,
I was talking to my friends, I think before Lettuce and Holly were even around and stuff. And I was like, you guys get like Richard is on every one of my videos. There's
everywhere.
The comment, always says nice things. It always has something insightful to say about what was said in my videos and everything. So, and I was like, everybody's like, oh yeah, this guy is amazing. And I was like, yeah, and yeah, I think, yeah, just we really appreciate you. And
We do.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like I just think like you know, this community, and everybody always says the community, everybody's so, and everybody is so nice and so welcoming. And Richard, I know you don't have like a channel and promote yourself the way the rest of us do, but you're a huge part of that, and probably a more important part of that, because the rest of us are all like, we're watching each other and doing things to like keep the cycle going. And you're like the purest form of just watching us because. So thank you.
You gonna run away now? He's like, all right, I'm closing the door.
He's like, I'm out of here. I'm
Oh, I
done.
gotta get a charger.
Oh, his computer's gonna die. Well, yeah, no, and like you said, the community. I want to get back to what I was doing back in the day, where I was doing. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I was doing a thing called hashtag comic book shout out, which was everybody talk about the channels that you enjoy, and I wanted to also take it one step further, and I want to have it where it's like you talk about the channels you enjoy, but also the people that are supporting your channel, and shout them out as well, and shouting out, not just, I limited it to like just channels and shouting other, and I don't want it to be like shouting out creators, supporters of channels, you know,
so
everything.
on
shops, whatever.
I'll piggyback on that, like not to like promote myself here, but on Monday, I'm hosting Steve Driscoll, and I don't know if you know him. He is a very Stevie D, yes, I love
another guy every day. I get a message from him every day.
Oh my God, I love him so much. So Hagen and I today figured out how to get him on StreamYard, because he literally only has his phone, and he is another one of those, like, he purely enjoys books, and I just love what he does, and he's such a nice guy. So Hagen and I are going to have him on my channel on Monday. We're going to, like, you know, hopefully try to get him a few more subs. I just think
genuinely nice guy. Really
right.
Steve's got a channel?
Yeah. Steve Driscoll.
Like 200 videos or something?
I mean, yeah, and that's just it. Like, it's like he has been going forever, and he has been doing this with like 30 subscribers. Like this whole time.
He's got this little cardboard thing that he's got a little slot in, and it's like, it's Comics with Stevie D episode number, and he slides a little piece in there with the number. And he's like, today we're going to talk about Captain America. And
I didn't know that. I've seen him in chats before.
Yeah, he is he has some holiday issues that are some holiday episodes that are so good about Halloween and Christmas and things. And genuinely, like, he's you know, he's an older gentleman. He's like 65 years old. He's not real great with technology, but he is just here to talk about comics because he loves it, and he doesn't have anyone to, and you know, that's why I think that's why a lot of us started our channels, was to have a group of people to talk about these things with, or at least a group of people to talk about these things to. And yeah, so like, and Big B, I know you know Chris from Comic Tropes, and he's the grandfather of this whole thing, right? Like, I've watched him for years, and then Lunch Money was like the one that sparked, the one that, you know, kind of the algorithm just grabbed a hold of after that. And it wasn't, it was through, I watched Chris for years, but it was through Lunch Money that I found out about all you other guys. Like, it was Lunch Money that like linked me to Brandon and to you and to Ricky, and to a couple of others. And it wasn't like, I just decided I'm going to do it too, you know, like and I don't know, like,
Lunch Money had me in tears at Terrificon because we were all there in the hotel room, and somebody said, and they were doing a toast or whatever. They said, and a toast to Mike from Lunch Money Comics. Without him, we wouldn't all be here. And Mike stopped him, and he's like, stop. He's like, if it wasn't for hashtag comic book shout out, I wouldn't know most of you guys. He's like, Brian linked all of us together. And I just started bawling. I was just like, dude, no. I mean, just, I was just humbled beyond belief. And Mike calls me a big softy now. He's like, you big softy.
If I can interrupt real fast,
Please
I
do.
just wanted to say about the CBC awards. You guys probably already know one of them. I was a little bit disappointed about Colossus Collectors Council of X. It's the best show on all of YouTube, and it's probably because there's a group of you guys, and that's my comic book preferences where I like big team ups, the big Infinity Gauntlet, where there's a lot. So it's not going to be no surprise that the Council of X is going to be one of my favorite YouTube channel hangouts. But the other thing was the biggest, not channel supporter, but the growth category is I was disappointed that Big B and Bronze didn't win that for their charitable work for a member that has cancer, and for Heroes, as well as the comic book shout out to grow the smaller channels, which I thought introduced me to a lot of you guys. It was the same thing as I saw Lunch Money Comics. He introduced me to Mon, to Ricky, and then it just blew up from there. And then when I saw Big B and the hashtag comic book shoutouts, that's when Mr. Akins, Colossus, all of Jackpot Comics, Sophie, I mean, just introduced to just dozens of you guys. Big B grew a lot of channels,
I'm not tooting my own horn at all. I don't want anybody to think like I don't.
Well,
I don't think like I'm some. I'm
no,
like, no.
And I don't want to make you start crying here, Brian, but I think it was when Ricky invited me on his stream. I had no video. Like, I mean, I had like 3 or 4 videos out at the time, but you sent me a message and I shouted you out for that. And I don't know if you saw it, but like I was freaking blown away. Like I was literally, and I still am nobody, and I'm okay with that. Like, I mean, I am growing at the rate that I think is fair. I still
remember that message. I think I told you that your content was great.
Yeah.
And that you had a great presence.
Then
I knew some people that I thought you should talk to. Alan would interview you. And I sent you
yes, you did. And it was like the nicest. I just couldn't believe it. And I want you to know that like that meant a lot to me. It really did. And I appreciate it. And I still do. And that's like I just think it's so cool that like somebody that I watched becomes somebody that I talk to. And that has happened over and over and over again.
This community is amazing. And like, Ricky had me on. Ricky, we were on a stream and I had no, he's just like, he goes, and this is my Uncle Brian. And I was like, he goes, this guy invited me on a stream when I had 12 subscribers.
Yeah.
And he welcomed me in and made me a part of this group. And I got to meet Mike and Colossus and everybody else. And you guys just all welcomed me. And he goes, but my Uncle Brian was the first one to bring me in and be like, come on in, buddy. The water's fine.
I think we pay that forward. Okay. So like you did that for Ricky. And guess what? Literally, I had 12 subscribers when Ricky brought me on his channel. And now, I'm going to try to do that for Steve on Monday, to get him for whatever I can, like, I mean, I get it. I am what I am, but I just want to get him a little bit more of exposure as well. Like, I just think that there's this like cyclical thing, like you said, with the community where we all try to lift each other up. And where I think we legitimately like each other and care about each other. And Richard, I'm going to go back to the CBC Awards and let you know that when it was announced, the supporter thing, I'm not here to diss the CBC Awards at all, but the fact that you were not named, Hagen and I were immediately texting like, what the frick, like Richard is everywhere. And I nominated you. He nominated you. You should have been there. And maybe it's because you don't have a blue wrench. It's time to fix that. I'm gonna make you a moderator on my channel because I trust you to do that. I think you are. I appreciate your input. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your opinion. I think you're funny. I think you're smart, and I just appreciate you in general. So. I'm sorry that you didn't get that nod. You did get nominations. And so I'll do it again next year. Let's give you a wrench everywhere we can, because you're just, I don't know, man.
I'll give Richard a wrench.
Yeah,
He did.
and
He remember to put it in.
And one more time, like when I first started, Richard was one of the first people who was leaving comments on my videos and being so positive and making me feel like I was doing something people might want to see. And that felt good. And that it just means a lot to me, buddy. It really does.
You're Westfall Cat, right, Richard?
Yep. Westfall
Yeah.
Cat on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to happen here in just a minute.
But yeah, to go back to what you said, Nate, I'm not bashing the CBC Awards. I thought it was very fair, but I was just disappointed that more people didn't see what I saw in terms of Colossus Collector and Biggie. And I was a little bit disappointed. I was more disappointed in not having Colossus and Bigby get nominated for theirs. But at the end of the day, I was extremely appreciative of you, Hagen, Mon, Mike, Dave.
I will tell you,
nominated.
Hagen and I had zero expectations. Like I am freaking floored. I really am. And I think it's insane. Like when I look at the amount of channels that got nominated and all these channels that like became finalists, I don't know, man. I think it's crazy, like how many great channels and great creators there are out there right now, and to even be considered is like so freaking cool. And you're right. Like when it comes down to it, 5. That's their rule, right? Like the top 5 that got votes. So I get that. But you're right. Like there were all these other people that I just thought, man, why didn't this guy get a nod, or why didn't this guy get a nod? And I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's there's always another year, there's always next year too. But there's a lot of really cool channels, there's so many cool hangouts. Like, at work, before I start work, I have about 2 hours that because I go in early, and I have a TV screen. I mean, I don't advertise it, but I am a teacher. So in my classroom, I have a TV screen, and every morning for 2 hours, I stream comic book content while I set up my room. And sometimes it's a hangout, and sometimes it's somebody's, just general video. But yeah, and K-pop is right, man. I hope people take it as an opportunity to find new channels. I really have this year. Like there are channels I had no idea existed.
Right.
There are channels that I'm like that are against me for the win, and I don't give a shit. I'm watching them because they're awesome. Like that's so cool.
Richard, if you can type something in the chat, it'll help me make you a moderator. But
This chat here?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, like, yeah, so they were like K-pop was saying, like there's so many circles though, where it's like there's this group, and then there's like, so I've noticed that, like I got into my group with Mike and Colossus and everything, and then I started moving more to like some groups that had more art people, which had like Katie and Bleeker and a lot of those guys, and started becoming more of parts of those groups, and then finding people like Biggie Shack and a lot of those other guys. It's just becoming, it's interesting that there's so many different little pockets of people, but when we all get to know each other, we're all interested in the same stuff, and it's funny. So.
And I haven't, like, again, like Bigby, you reached out to me, which God, man, blew my. I mean, seriously, man, you don't understand like what a big deal that was to somebody who watched your videos. Like it was surreal. But I have reached out to other people, and I have never.
The same reaction though. People like going like,
Well, no. I don't mean that. What I mean is like no matter who I have reached out to is like they're always a decent human being. I've not nobody has ignored me. I've sent Chris from Comic Tropes a few messages, and he, like I said, he is the biggest dog I feel like there is. And I have gotten a few messages back from him. I don't expect to be best friends with him or anything, but I think it's so cool that like I could congratulate him for his nomination or comment on one of his videos and get something back. I just think that the community, I don't think you would get this anywhere else. If you were into if you were into video games or movies or any other like niche thing, I don't think you're going to have this same like camaraderie. I don't.
yeah, I mean, like, so harkening back to the Terrificon thing, like everybody saw how much fun we were having and how many, like, well, we had like 30 different YouTubers or whatever show up there and all like. I met a lot of guys that I'd never met, but there was like, well, this guy knows this guy, and this guy knows this guy, and this guy.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of, but now it's like next year is going to be insane at when we're going to Heroes Con, I think. And it's you're probably going to have like 150 YouTubers.
I hope it. I mean, I'm down. Whatever next year's trip is, I've already started saving for it. Terrificon was. I haven't been doing this long enough, right? Like everyone's like, we're going to Terrificon. And I looked at the price. I was like, no, I'm not going.
It was hard for me at first too, the sticker shock, but I was like, all right, you can save up for this. You can do this. So yeah. It was hard.
So,
and hey, I want to shout out in regards to that, shout outs to Mr. Akins. He footed the bill for the room for us. I was just like, he was like, I'm going anyway. So he's like, you want to be my roomie? You're my roomie for free. I was like, so I was like, I brought books to give him like as a thank you. But then when he paid the price for that room at the end, it was sticker shock to me. I was like, oh my God, I didn't bring enough books to give you. I feel so bad. And he's like, dude, I told you that it was there, it was free. You were not expected to bring me books.
I love him. He's another person like I talk to on the regular. You know, that I get
guy. So another guy who's criminally undersubscribed.
Criminally. Yeah, he is somebody. I'm always going to be a DC guy, and I'm always going to be a guy who's into a bunch of weird crap. I just am. That's the way I am. But like when I watch you guys, it's not because I like what you like, it's because you like what you like. So when someone's passionate about their particular niche, whatever it might be, I'm into that. Like I'm into your passion, or I'm into your take on what it is that you're reading and you're talking about, whether or not I'm going to read it or not. Like Mike with Lunch Money, he's into freaking Chris Claremont and X-Men, and I never will be, but I have picked up a few trades.
Don't say never.
I mean, I'm not going to say never. I've picked them up and I've read through them, but what I'm saying is like what draws me to him is his personality and how much he's into what he's into.
Right.
And that is pretty much the same with everybody that I watch. So it's neat
to see everybody's passion for what they love. But my strength is that I used to own 2 shops, and so I'm pretty well versed in almost everything. A little bit dip my toes in. I know enough to be dangerous in everything. So I can hang and chat with almost anybody about anything. So that in that aspect is pretty fun. But but I have my things that I'm really passionate about.
Well, I do think you're one of the ambassadors for this particular circle or Venn diagram that I find myself within, and I do thank you for that, Brian. And then again, Richard on the other side.
I want to get the hashtag comic book shout out thing going again. Shout out to Chris, Bronze Age Nerd, who was just in here. I went through some really bad like mental health stuff just recently, and he really helped me work through that. and pulled me out of some dark spaces that I was in, and so I really feel bad that the hashtag comic book shout out thing kind of has fallen by the wayside, because it was really churning and burning, and like my friends were putting out new stuff for it at the beginning of the year, and I was just like, I just wasn't there. And but I hope to get it going again real
Well,
soon.
let's
I
get it going again.
I was up for a CBC award last year for it, but there was controversy because the category I was in was best collaborative event, and people said because my thing was collaborative, but it wasn't two people on the screen at the same time. It was me saying, hey, make a thing and shout people out, and we're going to collaborate and make this thing where we have a big playlist and we're collaborating to grow the. And there was divisiveness about whether that was a collaboration or not, because we weren't on the same screen at the same time. So like when people say that they're upset about like Bronze and I not being on there, just the fact that you guys wish that we were on there is enough for me. That you guys watch our content and you enjoy it enough to think that we should be on there, that's enough for me. I don't need to win the award. I just, you guys enjoy the content. That's the important part.
I would definitely say bring back the hashtag shout outs. And two is what I thought was really interesting was a origin story. I really like the origin stories from your last show. Is
we were talking about continuing that, because there's a lot to do that. And Sleepy's saying you should do the Tales of the Comic Shop series. We're talking about doing something where it's talking about like the experiences. So they changed the Community the Builder Award this year because of last year, what happened, Katie. They also changed a lot of things, like many of my group were really upset that Mike from Lunch Money Comics didn't get in last year. It was just because he didn't fit the category. None of the categories were just right to fit, like, and so they tweaked a lot of the categories, and they're a lot better this year. I will say I have great respect for the CBC awards, and a lot of my friends were really upset last year. And I'm like, when the results came out, I was like, dude, just being nominated is a huge honor. So,
and yeah, man, that list, like the nomination list, like when it was before the finalists were announced, you would like just keep scroll. Like I couldn't believe how many there were. Like so many people had somebody that they wanted to nominate. Like I think that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, Katie, that was the thing last year too. People didn't believe that my channel was new. I had 1,200 subs, and but I'd started in January, and people didn't believe that I was a new channel, and so they didn't let me in or people didn't nominate me for a new channel, even though I'd started in January.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, Katie, you rocked it this year, girl.
Yes.
Your name. I watched the live stream of the finalist announcements, and boy, I learned about her from Alan and Steppo, because they have been kind enough to invite me on their Friday night stream a few times, more than a few times, and just another example of how amazing and like inviting and welcoming the community is. But yeah, I mean, I just, everyone talks about, I hear K-pop, and I'm like, who is that? And then I start watching her stuff, and then when the announcements come out, she's all over the place. And Sleepy's still here, and he is nominated for, is it the Lifetime Award?
Lifetime Achievement, I believe.
Yeah, which is absolutely freaking amazing. So Damien, well deserved. I love his videos as well. I think he does a really good job of breaking down books and talking about his pull list.
And Katie, I apologize for making your life more difficult by talking to every indie creator that I think is amazing. I'm like, hey, you need to talk to Katie.
Well, you did the same thing. You didn't send me to her, but you sent me to Alan, and then that took
Right.
me like it took me a couple months to make the connection really happen. But I appreciate it because
Yeah,
I
no,
do.
at the shows I've been going to, I'm like, I'll look at somebody's stuff and I'm like, hey, if you really want to cross promote, you should contact this person. That's Katie. I'm like, you need to talk to Katie. She'll have you on. She'll talk about you, and that's why she started. She's trying to make a network. You guys, hey, the Nate. She's trying to make a network of people that will interview indie creators. So,
Oh,
if,
that's all.
if you're interested in interviewing indie creators and
Well,
talking
heck
about
yeah,
them,
I am. I mean, I like to talk to anybody about comic
Yeah.
books.
yeah. So
I
there
have
you
a-
go, Katie. You can hit Nate up.
Katie, if you're still watching, there's some creators, some indie comic book creators, Morgan and Owen Rosenberg, I think, and they created the comic book Ram God, and they'd love to be interviewed.
And
I can hook you up with their contact.
and I will say, Katie, coming up, I think. Okay, hold on, the 25th or the 26th. I haven't. I've got it hammered out, but I don't have it in front of me. The creator of Gallows Man, he's got a Kickstarter that he's doing for his 3rd issue, and he reached out to me, and I read his first couple issues. I really liked it, so I'm gonna host him on my channel and promote his Kickstarter,
There you go.
and interview him. Just because,
Well,
I just freaking love comic books. And so here's somebody who wants to make one of their own. And God, don't you know what a hard row that is to hoe?
right.
So anybody who freaking does it, you know what? Hold on one second.
There you go. He's going to show you Gallows Man. So
No, I'm not. I'm going to show you something I've never shown before. Brian, this is an exclusive just for you because you were one of the first people to reach out to me. This is a comic book from 2005 that I wrote and a friend of mine drew called Mild Mannered.
wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Do you have copies of that?
I have barely any copies of it left. I think I have 5 issues left. This was we took it to the Chicago Wizard World Comic-Con in 2005. And like I said, I wrote it. I did all the lettering with Adobe Illustrator, with a bootleg copy of Adobe Illustrator. And my buddy did all the art, and we printed it at a freaking Kinko's. We handed it out to literally everybody. And nothing came of it. But this was the days before Kickstarter. You know what I mean? Like, it was the days before you could do things like that.
Okay,
but
you've showed that. Can you guys hold the fort down for like 3 minutes? I'll go show you something that's never been shown on the internet before.
I will 100% hold down the fort. So I'm going to
All
talk
right, you
to
guys
Katie
hold down the fort. I'll show you
say-
something that's never been shown on the internet before. That's gonna, I'm gonna be.
I
kind of
want-
a show,
No, I want to
but-
see it. Okay, so Katie, you're going to have him on in October. I'm having him on. So not next week, but the week after, and I think it's the Wednesday, so I think it's the 25th. So I hope you'll be there and chat and help out, and then obviously whenever you host him, I will come watch on your channel, and I will contribute in chat as well. And I'll hound Richard to follow me to both. And then also in October, I'm going to be on 22 Comics. Do you watch him, Richard?
Don't think so. No.
Yes, Katie. I think it's the 25th. I will have a thumbnail on my. I haven't done it yet, but as we get closer to it, I'll put a thumbnail on my YouTube, and I'll put a thumbnail on my Instagram as well. So yeah. So Richard, 22 Comics, he does a couple of he does a Thursday show where he interviews a content creator, and he does a weekly show where he takes the cover price top 10 and he breaks it down and then picks a book instead of what's on the top 10 called the top 10 alternative. And that's the one I really like. He picks he's like, oh, this book is so expensive because it's hot right now, but if you want something that's equally as good,
similar but more affordable,
yes, check out this alternative. And that's the one I really like.
Yeah. 22 Comics was shouted out in the hashtag comic book shout out back in the day.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out.
Yeah,
So
he's a nice guy. Good guy.
way back in the year of 1988, my high school had a graphics department which had printing presses and everything. You learned to be an offset printing press operator. And my best friend and I, well, I'm gonna have to take this out because it has a photo on the back cover. Okay, well, I'll open it. I'll show it first. This is I'm gonna make me big.
That is cool. What's that called? I see a
This is
title at the
called
bottom.
Scenario. This is the first issue. It's called Scenario.
That is
And
detailed.
we had well, this is like all of our characters amalgamated into one character. We had this whole universe that we had made up and played in the Champions role-playing system, and we had all these characters that were our characters. And so in 1988 at the Portland Comic Con, we put out a book and we had our own booth, and we sold these books. And so I only have one copy left of each one. It makes me sad, but
Yeah.
I wonder how many of them survived. But so
Brian, do you have any other way to print others?
I could scan them and print the other things. But so well, it's a really bad photo. But here's me and my friend in high school.
I just love it. I just love it, man.
So yeah, New Wave Graphics was the name of our company because we like new wave music. But yeah, we had the whole. We were mimicking classic X-Men, so we would have like the frontispiece piece of artwork, and then we had like all the different characters and their history before you read the book, so you could like figure out like who was the good guys, who was the bad guys, and what was going on in the storyline.
I don't want to like drag it out, but how did you do the artwork? How did you do the typeface? How did you do all of that in 1988?
So this is all. So this is a computer. You can badly cut into the artwork there. That's printed out on a computer. But everything else is hand lettered by me. So like, well, this one actually, the first issue we used computer. We typed it out on the computer and then cut out and hand put each word balloon and all the dialogue into. We used the Zipatone gray.
I was gonna ask if you use zip toads.
Yeah, we use Zipatone gray. That's a thing that doesn't even exist anymore. Somewhere,
Brian, I still have a sheet of Ziptone dots, like, from 1985.
Right. Yeah. So this one is really rough. The second issue, it got way better. So we actually did 3 issues.
Wow.
So so Scenario was the first one, and then the Crusaders #1 is the second one, and that was my friend's team was called the Crusaders, and my team was called the Challengers. So there's Crusaders #1, and I was looking at this the other day, and I was like, the second issue. I was looking at it, and I'm like, that's not my style. And I remember I was like, oh, my friend, like we were talking about inking. This is where my thing for inking comes from, because my friend inked over my artwork. But again, yeah, I get the. Whoop, let me drop it on the ground here. You got the little frontispiece and the artwork, and it gives you a little story recap and. So yeah, we had our own booth and everything at the con, there's one of the teams. So yeah, I look at this stuff and I go, wow, it's Image from the 90s before it was Image.
Yeah, seriously, like I was about to say the same thing. It has that feel, that look. And I don't
And I-
mean that as like in any way, but complimentary.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, and I actually got asked that when I was at the show in Terrificon. They were asking me like about my art. A lot of the companies were like, "Oh, I was promoting them, and they were signing up for my Instagram to follow me promoting them." And they're like, "You do art?" And they were like, "Oh, well," and they're like, and I said, "Oh yeah, I was accepted to the Kubert School in '89, but I never went." And they go, "Oh, well, but you had so many things. Like what about the image boom?" And I'm like, "I was having my first child when the image boom happened. I'm getting married, so that ruined that." I mean, so.
Isn't there a comic book company near you?
Oh, Dark Horse, yeah.
Okay, Dark Horse. Okay.
Crusaders #2. Got a wraparound cover on this one.
Cool.
But this one, I was looking at it, and I'm like, I remember drawing that, but that doesn't look like. And it was my friend inking over my pencils.
That inside cover is great, man.
Yeah, that's Federal Agent Jack Mallory. I love this last panel. It was like where the future people come back in time. The guys, all of his friends have died, and the future people come back in time, and they'll try and we're gonna change the past. That's my team there that I created in the magazine.
That's really cool, Brian.
Oh, thanks. Anyway, there you go. They're first internet showing of my art I've got to give credit to my friend Eric Johnson. And Travis. We were friends with Travis back in the day too. Travis wasn't involved in this, but he still has some of the original artwork for that.
That's awesome.
So
that is really cool.
No, super fun to do. But
well, boys, it is like
you should ask Dr. Plagueis what he could do.
To reprint that.
Yeah.
So you know what I would like to do? So Sleepy saying that I need to do like a Tales from the Comic Shop thing. I want to do something like the unrealized artist or something, because there was, I don't know if you guys, do you remember there was a book in it was like late 90s, early 2000s called The 7 Guys of Justice. It was put out by a friend of mine from high school. Actually, was the writer, Brian Joins. He's actually a comic writer for some of the companies. I think he's with Oni right now. But he reached out to me. He said, "I lost my artist." He had I think they had 8 or 9 issues out at that point. And he's like, "I lost my artist." And he's like, "I've known you since high school. Would you be willing to come on? I want to do it. It's been 2 months since we put out an issue. I want to put out a giant size special at the 6-month mark." And so he's like, "It's like I have a script. It's like a 90-page book or something." And so I started drawing it, and I got 80% of the way through. And then he went through a really bad breakup. I don't remember if it's a breakup or a divorce, but he went through a really bad thing where everything got put on hold. And then he came back, and I started drawing it again. And then I went through a divorce, and it never got finished. It's still sitting in a box in my garage, all of the art. And I'm like, I should reach out to him. We could do a Kickstarter and publish the book, and maybe do like an omnibus edition of all of the stuff that he did, plus the unpublished giant size issue. But
I mean, not to go back, but even a digital version, man, even a PDF that we could read,
right.
I mean, like that stuff you just showed, even if, and I'm not a digital guy, but I would read it digitally if that was the only way I could check it out. I think that would be cool.
That stuff is pretty terrible, but it's really bad.
No, I don't care. You think this is good?
I would love to read. I know what you're saying. You're saying, yeah, we'd love to read it just because it's somebody and
exactly.
No,
well,
I mean,
hey,
there are
listen,
sparks and stuff. There are sparks of stuff in there that are okay, but there's stuff that's pretty bad.
It's almost 3:30 in the morning my time.
I'm sorry, buddy. I know you said you were going to go an hour ago.
No, do not. No apologies. This has been like one of the. I'll be honest. This week at my work has been one of the worst. So this has been one of the best parts of my week. And I really appreciate it. So I appreciate the invite to the stream. Richard, God dang it.
I appreciate everybody for hopping on. If anybody's watching
just-
on the rewind, sub all these guys up that you've seen. Paul, yeah. Travis Comics Limited, Lettuce Comics,
Alan,
Comic Collector Geek, sub all those guys up, and all the people we've talked about.
Yeah.
Great channels.
And Richard, for somebody who does not have a channel, but probably could. It's nice to see your face, buddy. It's nice to hang out with you because you're somebody that I see in the comments. And so this is the part of this that I honestly like the most, is just the talk and the community and the back and forth. So I love, like, I was ready to go to bed 3 hours ago, like after we finished watching our movie, but when Richard said I'm in, I was like, nope. I'm heading upstairs. I'm jumping in because he never comes in aside from chat. So the fact that you were going to jump in, buddy, meant that I was coming no matter what. And that's why Hagen came too. I guarantee it. So much appreciated.
Well, Damien, thank you for your support. Damien and I are at some point we're going to do a hangout together. Damien is a great artist in his own right, and we're going to sit down and do some art together. And
awesome.
Go look at. He has an amazing original art collection and stuff. So sometime we're going to do a hangout together. He's invited me down to come down and have a drink and hang out. So
cool.
I mean, it's not that far from me. It's like he's right there in the Portland area. So
yeah, I love Sleepy stuff. He's done some hangouts with a friend of mine, David, the Garage Geek. Yeah,
David is super nice. David was on David was on hashtag Comic Book Shouters as well. He was part of it. So if you go back and watch that whole chunk.
David may be with me on Monday. He's not sure if he can make it or not, but just keep an eye out. He's somebody again that, like, this whole experience, like, it's just somebody who, holy crap, I've made a lifelong friend. I can't believe it. Just by shit posting on YouTube.
Right. Early on, she was like, I made all these friends with you guys. And she says, early on, she was like, these people mean so much to you, but how many of them would come to your funeral if you died tomorrow? And I said, and just recently I said the same thing, said that what she said. And to a man, they almost said I'd be there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, it's weird, but it's like, even though it's through the internet, it feels it is. It's very real. It's very real.
For sure.
All right. So I appreciate you guys. Yep.
Make
good
sure
one.
you tuck off.
And thank you everybody who's watched the whole show. And
I'll talk to you all soon.
Everybody else. We'll catch
Have
you
a
guys
good
later.
night.
Thank you so much. Bye.